Interesting how when I go live, I suddenly get like a lot of messages on Discord. It's not like unexpected because I just sent a message to everybody. But yeah, it's a little curious. Um there's no one in here right now. So it's not really. Oh, there's Supreme. Okay, what's up, dude? I was just going to say it's going to be a very very short stream today. Delay. You have to understand that there's like a 5 or 6 second delay. So everything I say, right, is off. It's like sometimes as much as 30 seconds before you hear it. So that happens a lot. People forget about that, and I think it's because a lot of people don't have maybe as big of an international viewer base as I do. There are definitely some, but because everybody is like 7 hours away from me, I mean, insofar as time, there's a pretty significant delay. It does some funny stuff. Um, yeah, I was just gonna say it's a really short one, and I was gonna explain why. I was just gonna say I actually feel really good today. The weather is really really nice outside. I actually have the window open so I can get some sunlight in here, and I've been working on some music stuff, but I haven't been able to make any progress because my sleep schedule's messed up. So, um, I'll like get off stream and do like guitar drills and stuff, but I'm not really making anything. Like there's a big difference between sitting down and like practicing chord shapes or arpeggios or whatever and actually writing something. And so I wake up like an hour before I have to be on stream. I get up, I drink coffee, I do whatever it is I got to do. I jump on stream, I stream until I'm exhausted. I get off and then I do drills because I don't have the energy to do anything creative. Well, made the mistake of opening up a project I've actually been working on for a long time. Unfortunately, the amount of time that's actually gone into it is very small. So it was made, God, months ago. I think I made it around the time I played Still Wakes. But I've probably only actually put like three to 5 hours worth of work into it. And a lot of that was literally just hunting down particular sounds that I wanted, not actually the writing bit. And I actually want to take it somewhere. And the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I actually dedicate some of the time I feel good to actually doing that. You know what I mean? Don't know if I'll be successful. Sometimes when I actually have a day where I feel really, really, really good, I instead get hung up on something stupid. I work on something for like, 4 hours, don't accomplish a fucking thing, and then quit. So that's also a very real possibility. But yeah, I just kind of want to mess around. I want to do things other than stream today, if possible, because it's like a beautiful day and I feel good. I want to do the things. And even if I could get the audio interface to work so that I could do it on stream, I probably wouldn't. I probably would not. Just because it's personal, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. There's a lot of stuff that is absolute garbage that can be polished into something really, really, really nice. But having a bunch of people critique the garbage period of a work of art is just gonna dissuade you from actually polishing the fucking thing and making it into something good. That has happened to a lot of people. Leonardo da Vinci, because I'm obviously as smart and as talented as him, had that problem actually, really bad because he was slow. A lot of people don't know that, but Leonardo da Vinci was notoriously fucking slow. He was a very slow painter. Took him ages, like literally years, to work on very simple works of art, to the detriment of anybody that hired him to actually paint anything because they wanted to get shit done, and he just took fucking forever. Absolutely wasted all the time he possibly could. Literally, sometimes he would just sit there and look at it for hours, trying to figure out what his next thing was gonna be. But because of that, if you ever were to look at his stuff early on, you'd be like, "There's nothing here." You know what I mean? Or this looks like garbage. What the fuck, man? You promised me a painting, and then you give him a decade, and you've got something really nice, actually. Wonder if I can connect this trackball. I haven't really been using it, but I kind of want to for giggles. Hang on. Wait, does the... That's really weird. It showed my keyboard as being a Bluetooth thing, but it's not. I don't think. A light speed receiver, flash card reader. Why did they change the way Bluetooth works? They really changed this. Here, let's get this thing blinking really fast. Yeah, MX Ergo, let's go. All right. Goof around with that for a while. Yeah, I don't even know if anybody's going to show up today. A lot of people have been having issues, not with my stream or anything, just in real life. It seems like everybody's kind of having a hard time right now. I mean, I am too, but things have actually turned out to be a lot better than I expected them to be, which then worries me because it's like, fuck, what's going to go wrong? It's weird because I'm not a superstitious person. I'm not by nature, but I do hold some beliefs that have no foundation in secular thought. They don't. So it seems as though luck is a real thing with me. Oh, I'm just saying. Okay, let me get to my point. My point is, I shouldn't believe in luck, but I kind of do because I've experienced a lot of weird things, albeit anecdotally, that sort of trick me into thinking that luck is a real thing. And the way I sort of think of luck is as like a currency where once it's spent, you're out of it. So, you know, a person would say, go look for four-leaf clovers here in the States because four-leaf clovers are considered good luck, right? And they might look through, you know, their front yard or whatever for four-leaf clovers, and maybe they find one. And if they find one, they'll tell themselves something like, oh, I'm going to go play the lottery because obviously I'm lucky I found a four-leaf clover, right? But that's the opposite of the way I think about it. It's like I was allotted a certain amount of luck today, and unfortunately, I spent that luck finding a four-leaf clover. Had I known that luck was allotted to me, I would have went and played a lottery instead. But because I didn't, I spent all my luck on a four-leaf clover instead of on the lottery. Kind of, but it's not a singular thing. It's like there is an amount of it. You are given a certain amount of luck every single day, but you don't know what the amount is until an event unfolds that says, hey, check it out, you're lucky today. And maybe it happens that you're allotted a whole bunch of luck on a day when you play the lottery, right? Or maybe it's a day you pick a four-leaf clover. But if I go and pick that four-leaf clover, I'm spending that luck. So now there's no luck left for me when I go to play the lottery, so I'll definitely not win. Or some people think, oh, today's my lucky day, I'm going to go play the lottery. I think, oh, shit, I wish I hadn't found this four-leaf clover because I have no luck left to buy a lottery ticket. It's weird, but I really do think about it like that sometimes. And so whenever things go well, I get very worried. And I know that none of this is real, but I swear when things go well, that's when shit hits the fan. That's when things go bad. So if there's a situation at work and I'm really worried about it and it turns out to be nothing or way less bad than I thought it was, or I'm worried about paying the bills, but I magically have enough to cover everything or whatever, most people would feel relief. I feel a little bit scared. It's like, fuck. What is going to happen? What's going to balance this out? What's going to balance the scales of luck? Because if I get lucky with one thing, I'm getting unlucky with something else. And dude, that always seems to be true with me. I'm also just naturally very unlucky. I don't know why. I'm lucky. My luck is like breaking even or staying alive. Literally. Like, oh, you're not homeless. Congratulations. I remember this marksman revolver. Yeah, I remember this, but I don't know that this would make a good metaphor for luck, really. Exactly. It's exactly that. Like when ambulance drivers tell you, you never say, "Man, it's quiet." Restaurant workers are the same. You never say it's a quiet day or a slow day. You just don't do it because as soon as you do, something bad happens. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't mean currency as in a physical thing, though. That's not what I mean by the metaphor. You could use literally anything else, like shit. I don't know, man. You're given a jar of marbles for the day and you get to use those marbles to do something, but you don't know how many jar or how many marbles are in the jar until you dump it out to use them. And so maybe you use them the wrong way or the right way. Yes. Yes, but I love you supreme, but you're like totally missing the point. You're hung up on actual physical currency. That's not what I mean. Has nothing to do with the physicality of the currency, the fact that there are real dollar bills or real coins. That's yeah. Like you're a bit off on a tangent. No, hey, I get where you're coming from, but no, I mean it more in the actual like utility sense that you can spend money. The fact that it can be purchased and sold, a commodity. It's commoditized. Luck is a commodity. That's about like the best way to put it. Luck is a commodity. It is a mysterious commodity that you don't know the amount of. So when you wake up in the morning, you are allotted a certain amount of luck, but you don't know that amount. It's kept a secret, right? It's it's hidden behind a curtain or something. And so you go through your day, or at least I do, thinking, okay, I know I was allotted, I was given a certain amount of luck for today, but I don't know how much luck I was given. So what do I want to spend it on? Do I really want to spend it looking for four-leaf clovers? Because if I do, I might spend all my luck. Yeah, I mean, you're right. To a certain extent, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it skews enough in a particular direction that it feels like a real force with me. Like there are certain things that are unlucky with me that are like if they are a self-fulfilling prophecy, then I am suicidal. So for instance, Christmas is an unlucky time for me. I don't like Christmas. I don't like the Christmas season. I kind of hate it actually. And the reason why I dislike it is because so much bad stuff happens to me at that time of year. Now you could put a whole bunch of stuff together. Oh, it's seasonal affective disorder. The days are shorter, there's less sunlight, maybe you see your family for the first time in a long time and it's really frustrating. No, I crash cars and houses burn down. Like it's like my Christmas luck is congratulations, you're homeless. Your girlfriend and best friend of like 20 years broke up with you. Like it's not like minor stuff. I suppose I self-fulfilling prophesied myself into crashing a car, but if I did, then holy fuck, my subconscious literally wants to end me. Dude, I have a real Christmas. So it's not even that I hate Christmas, it makes me anxious. Like I worry about it. Like even talking about it makes me anxious. I don't like it. I think it's just convenient that Christmas happens to be around that time of year because it's not actually like Christmas Day, although it has been. I crashed my car on Christmas Eve. Um, it's the season in general, starting about the beginning of October and until about the beginning of February. So the months of October, November, December, and January, those 4 months, that third of the year, always some shit. Dude, it's always some shit. I've literally had houses burned down, right? Had to live in dilapidated trailers, the floors falling in, and then lived out of a motel for weeks because I was effectively homeless. you know? I wore old prom clothes because that was all I could afford from the local like Christian charity thing. I totaled a car on Christmas Eve. Um, my girlfriend of then 5 years, but who had been one of my best friends for about 20, broke up with me on our anniversary or thereabout, which was November, right? Totaled my car on Christmas Eve. Shit like that. Like it's always stuff like that. And I tell people like, no, you don't understand. I'm not lucky around Christmas time. And they always call bullshit. They're like, whatever, dude. You're doing it to yourself. And then some fucking wildly terrible thing happens. It wasn't exactly our anniversary. It was like 3 or 4 days off, I think. It was very close though. It was very, very close to our anniversary because our anniversary was the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. That actually, I kind of don't even count that because getting broke up with, even though it was horrendous, it doesn't register in comparison to like a house burning down. You know what I mean? Or totaling your only car thinking you're going to die. Like those are a little bit worse. Those were the worst things I've had happen around Christmas. But yeah, it's just wild. It's just a weird, wild thing. And I know that luck isn't real, and I know that it's a coincidence, and I know that self-fulfilling prophecy has something to do with it, but I still behave as though it's a real thing because my luck seems to be better if I treat it as though it's real. If I go out into the world and assume that luck is a real thing and I try to like rationalize how to buy and spend luck, like how to use it so that I don't get fucked, I have less bad luck. I don't get any good luck. Good luck does not happen. Like for instance, right? My good luck last year was that the college reimbursed me for money I had paid them for classes. The reimbursement was about $1,000. Now you're like, man, you came into $1,000. That's amazing, right? But here's the thing, I got shingles. It cost me $1,500. That was given to debtors who began absolutely aggravating the shit out of me, wanting their money, right? So my good luck was being able to pay off 2/3 of my medical debt. My good luck was owing $500, right? Well, you never know how much there is. You don't know how much is in the vault. It's like some fucking armored truck comes and delivers a certain amount of luck every single day, but you don't know how much is in the vault. And you have to be very, very careful about opening that shit and spending it. You try your luck on it, and it runs out. You won't know that it runs out. Now you're dead. Like it's crazy. It's like God, I'm trying to find a better metaphor. It's like the air you breathe. You're not consciously aware of how much air is in the room that you're in currently. But imagine it was sealed perfectly tight. I mean, perfectly tight. No air could escape. And every day, some dude shows up with the tank. He plugs it into the wall and he pumps your room full of more oxygen or whatever, right? So you can breathe. But you never know how much air he's going to give you for the day. Do you risk doing something so strenuous that you breathe all the air out of the room? Right? Because maybe it's a good day. Maybe they pumped it full of air. Maybe you can do fucking jumping jacks and, run a mile on a treadmill. Maybe you can do that. Or maybe that kills you. You don't know because you don't know how much air. It's weird. It's such a weird metaphor. Fucking, I've traveled down. I don't know what we're even talking about anymore. I just know that I have to behave like as if luck is a thing, even though it's almost definitely not, so that I don't end up in a situation that is too bad. And honestly, though, I have a lot of resentment because I am tired of not having any luck. It does get old. It gets very, very cumbersome. It's like years at this point, decades, it feels like. Just never. My good luck is at best breaking even. It's a shame. There are some, I know that there are people that have worse lives than me, but some people just literally have all the luck. I don't know how they do it. Just great things happen to them. It's like, fuck, man. You had no agency in this at all, and you got to do blah blah blah. Holy fuck, dude. And like, I'm always really happy for them. Like my buddy Jordan, I used to be his boss. He makes way more money than me now. Because his aunt, I guess, works at the company where he works. Oh, for the record, I get that Skrillex is like really technically gifted. I don't like any of Skrillex's music. Never liked it. Yeah, it's new. Yeah, I'm actually paying attention. It's classic Skrillex though. So I can't be sure that this is how he does it, but what I think that Skrillex does is he carves out a timbre for an instrument, usually a bass. Like he's obviously drums and bass primarily. Like that's his shtick. Like it really, dude, this actually reminds me a lot of music from about like 2016. The Harambe years, as you might remember them. So even older than 2020, I think. I'm older than you though, so you might not remember 2016 all that well. You were probably too young to be listening to Skrillex anyway. But okay, cool. I don't remember how old you are. I'm pretty sure you're younger than me though. So what I'm pretty sure Skrillex does is he hunts down drum samples that he likes. So he'll find probably multiple of each. Like he's definitely going to have multiple hats. He's almost certainly going to have multiple kicks. I don't know if he'll have multiple snares, but I would suspect that he has multiple snares as well. And then he'll carve out like a bass tone. He's probably using something like Serum. It's really, really popular right now. It might be Vital or something else, but it's probably Serum. Probably some kind of wavetable bass synth, right? With automation that navigates through the wavetable to create a lot of like texture and give him like granular control of what he can do with the bass. But what's interesting is he does all this stuff and then he carves out like a beat or a rhythm or a melody or whatever. And then I'm almost 100% certain that what he does is he takes that, he bounces it to audio, right? So he basically renders it to an audio file. So it's no longer MIDI. And then he chops the audio file and runs it through another effects loop. Almost 100% certain that that's how he makes music, because he has a very choppy, and you could automate all this with MIDI, but you'll notice that the chopped sections, it doesn't feel like one instrument has its volume turned down. It's like everything does. Now, it's possible he's doing some weird sidechain nonsense or even an inverted sidechain where it's just cutting audio on a snare hit or something. But I'm pretty sure he just bounces the audio and then chops the shit out of the stuff he does. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh, Harambe, I would expect people to remember because it was kind of a big news story, but yeah. Wait for the bass.
Choose adventure.
Is that
a change of scenery? Or
is that all he did, or is this all Skrillex stuff? Oh my god, I am actually. Oh my god, I hate Spotify. I can't even look at any of his other music chat because of ads. Oh, speaking of which, I gotta dump all my stuff. I don't know what May Day is. The 1st of May or something. Man, I'm getting really upset with the state of the world here lately. I need to stop dwelling on it. I'm doom scrolling my own mind here a lot lately. And I'm like not mad, but I am a little bit frustrated because we have this like hardcore content centric world now, and I'm a part of it. Like I'm making content right now, right? But I feel like the amount of content that is being produced in the world is sort of hiding the fact that we have like really, I don't use social media. Um, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you don't even need to anymore. Content is everywhere. Advertising and sponsors and shit are everywhere. You can't watch a movie, you can't listen to music, you can't do anything without it just being in your face all the fucking time. And everything is like contentified now, um, to a ridiculous degree. Yeah, yeah, you're absolutely right. That's the two. So you have brain rot and you have corporate like content everywhere. Everybody is trying to become internet famous. And I think it's a side effect of the fact that the economy is so shit because like I love being here, but I would love to make money doing this and I'm not going to. This stream costs me money more than I will ever make back. Although the tablet that Captain gave me kind of balances it out a little bit. But it definitely, it costs me money. Like I have really high electricity bills. I invest a lot of time in it where I could be working and stuff like that. Yeah, but dude, I, at least on Windows, I juggle so many ad blocks, just to be able to get access to mediocre content. I don't. That's a big reason why I didn't, why I haven't gone affiliate. I've got 3 people watching right now. Me going affiliate isn't going to introduce me to enough people for me to make money. And what it will do is it'll make it so that you guys have to watch ads. Right? Because I'm never going to be big enough to make any kind of self-sustaining income on this stream. It's not going to happen. There might be some kind of content creation thing I could do that would earn me some kind of income where it'd be worth it to do all that. But this isn't it. So, but it's aggravating. I don't want to do it. I'm not, those ads aren't going to earn me any money. Right? So like right now I've got 3 viewers in chat, right? You guys watching ads isn't going to earn me any income at all. It's not even going to offset to the smallest degree the amount of money that goes into the stream. Not even, like, we're talking cents out of hundreds of dollars, probably. So the only thing that happens is you guys have to wait to actually converse with me because you're watching a fucking Volvo ad or whatever. Now, there is the possibility that it would expose me to more people on Twitch because they supposedly prioritize it, even though they claim they don't. I don't know. But yeah, it's just, but also just the contentification of everything is starting to really gross me out. It's just starting to gross me out. It drives me crazy. It's like everybody is playing a character for the internet. You're fine. You don't need to pay me money. You don't need to pay me money because one person isn't enough anyway, right? You would have to have an absolutely amazing number of subscribers or Patreons or whatever. You know, Crimson has had some luck with that, but I'm not going to have Crimson's luck with monetization of the stream. I just don't see that happening. Maybe that's me being overly negative. I just don't see it. And also, like, going through the effort to do it would make me feel a little bit gross. Because, like, imagine, this is the way I picture it. Imagine you invite like 15 of your closest friends to your house, but then before they come in the door, they have to give you $5. And you're the host. Would you do that? Would you charge your friends like $5 a piece to come in the door? See, I made the mistake of actually liking you fuckers. That's my fault. I should have never done that. I should have never made the choice to like you guys. You guys need to be bigger dicks or something. But no, that's not really the thing that I'm frustrated about. All that is fine. That doesn't really bother me. What does bother me is just how much nonsense content there is in the world and how huge of a distraction it is just from life. Not even like you can make the obvious statement that there's like all this crazy shit going on in the world and people are totally oblivious to it because they're watching cat memes or whatever, right? But there's also just the smaller things like people have their noses in social media so much that they're not even enjoying life. Like it's kind of sad. It makes me feel bad. It does. It makes me feel bad. It annoys me and frustrates me a little bit. And I ingest content like I'm an addict like the rest of you guys, but I'm like really aware of it, and it bums me out. Bums me out for me because it's like, do I really want to do this, or do I want to go for a hike in the woods? I feel like I'd have a really good day if I went out and bought some nice shoes and I went to the woods and I just fucked off for a couple hours. I'd probably have a really good day. Instead, I'm going to scroll through fucking TikTok or Instagram Reels or whatever, which I don't do those, but you know what I mean. It's just, I don't know. I feel bad. The world has changed a lot. Maybe this is like the old man in me, like shaking his cane. You fucking kids, back in my day, we played basketball in the driveway and rode bicycles through the neighborhood. I don't really do social media either, but I do ingest a lot of video content, and algorithms have really started to piss me off here lately. So, for instance, I watched, what was it, the Critical Drinkers video on Snow White, right? Critical Drinkers, good content creator, right? Kind of funny, kind of analytical, pokes fun of stuff, but isn't like an ass about anything. You know what I mean? And when he is an ass about something, he's very tongue in cheek about it. So you don't get the feeling that he's a prick, right? You don't. You just think, yeah, he's just fucking around. And so I watched one Critical Drinker video, chat. And after watching that Critical Drinker video, thankfully it's cleaned up now, but it starts like recommending all this conservative shit. I spent probably like 20 minutes earlier today hitting these 3 bars and saying, don't recommend this channel. It was like, the woke files and the woke skeptic and the woke inspector and men's rights channel and shit like that. And like, don't get me wrong, like I have some conservative values, but it was just so much low hanging fruit bullshit, red pill fucking nonsense because I watched one Critical Drinker video. I watched one Critical Drinker video and it just is like, oh, you're obviously a MAGA Republican. Look, I just saw it. Oh, yeah, wait. Okay, so no, I haven't seen this one, but it was because of Critical Drinker. At least this is somebody I would actually watch. I would actually watch the Critical Drinker. But dude, I spent so much time. I must have blocked like 15 or 20 channels or something. It is still doing it. The poor man's podcast, Men Refuse to Help Female Gym Influencer. And like, listen. I am kind of a men's rights guy. I do recognize that men have a real problem in modern society, that problems that need to be addressed, right? But I'm not some red-pilled sneako loser. I'm not that guy. And it aggravates me because the internet it's trying so hard to be addictive, and all it does is piss me off. I need to stop ranting.
Okay, just imagine this is you. You love giant.
Nothing about the title of this video makes any sense. Except maybe the literally who cares part. What the fuck is this? Today we look at Minecraft Apple TV. Listen, guys, I don't believe in unaliving myself, so I'm going to need one of you to shoot me, okay? I'm going to send out my longitude and latitude. I can give you my fucking street address. It's apartment 50, in case you get here and you're like, fuck, where is he? I just need you to come end it all, please. One of you's got to have the cojones to do it. I promise. We'll make it look like an accident or something. You don't get in any trouble. And most of you guys are foreign anyway. You'll just get evicted. It'll be evicted. You'll get deported. It'll be fine. Dude, yeah, like I had a conversation with Crims about that, and I love Crims, and I understand where she's coming from because Israel is helping out her region a lot right now, but Israel is. I'm just gonna fucking avoid getting banned. I'm sorry. I'll be back. Unfortunately, not enough. Did you guys hear what I said? I don't know if you guys actually said this. Well, yeah, man, and you can get really political about it, but it's more than that. It's we live in a world in which every single person on the planet could be taken care of, pretty much. And I'm not asking for some gay communist space utopia, right? And that's also not me being like a red pill, like I'm not using that in a derogatory way at all, right? But we do actually literally have the means, right, to support and care for pretty much every single person on the planet. And I think that we can do it without going purely communist or purely capitalistic. But the only way to do it is to actually have like a rational discourse where everyone comes together, at least the people that genuinely want the most good in the world. And they work toward that common end. But instead, it's haves versus have-nots, where wealthy, influential people mask their intentions behind pieces of legislation that they cooperatively pass so that they can maintain their power and wealth, right, at the expense of the rest of us. And over the course of my generation specifically, the millennials were the ones that unfortunately witnessed all this first. Maybe Gen X to a degree, but mostly millennials, especially older ones, went from a world where you could reasonably go get an education and start a family, own a home, and have just a regular middle class lifestyle. Just from effort. You just put in the effort, you're going to be fine. All of that shit was taken away. All of it was taken away. We went from, oh yeah, you get to have these things when you grow up, to sorry, home costs $500,000. How much do you make a year? Oh, I make $40,000. Well, sucks for you. No. One benefit of the generations that were younger than us, although they were probably lied to too, was that they didn't exist in a world where that was a possibility. So they didn't have to live under the illusion that they were ever going to have anything meaningful, which is so fucked up. That's also super, 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 super fucked up. But there is definitely some resentment in me because it literally is just a case of powerful people pretending to be something they're not, hoodwinking everybody else. And I'm skeptical of all sides. The two-party system is a very American way of looking at it, but it's much bigger than that. It's literally on an individual basis. I could count on one hand the number of politicians that have more good intentions than bad. Because I think a lot of politicians do have some good intentions. They just have a lot more bad ones. You know? I don't know. I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but I feel like a 7-year-old man. Kids these fucking days, they don't know how. That's what I feel like I sound like. But it actually comes more from a place of caring. I'm like, fuck, man, I'm watching generations of people get absolutely fucking wrecked. And probably the best thing they can hope for is World War III. Woohoo! Conscription. Let's go fight in Taiwan.
Just
Fuck
imagine
yeah.
this is you. You love giant corporations and Minecraft. Jesus Christ, do I have a game for you. One day, in the beautiful land of Stockholm, California, the ghost of Steve Jobs and the ghost of Marcus Persons' career accidentally signed a contract stating that Mojang...
Who's Marcus Persons? Oh, dude, in music news, Gibson won its suit against Steen, which may be one of the worst things to have ever happened to the guitar world. If I were a music tuber, I'd make a video on it. Because it actually worries me. Just to segue for a minute. So, for those that don't know, let me segue for a moment. Guitar headstocks. These are traditionally what is copywritten or trademarked by a particular guitar company. These guys are what are trademarked. Why? Well, the headstock decoration is traditionally where the company places their name. So headstocks will say Fender, Gibson, Jackson, whatever, right? Okay. So the headstocks traditionally are what are trademarked on guitars. For the most part, body styles are not. They're considered kind of vague or too ubiquitous, right? Like, yes, Gibson and Les Paul, it's kind of complicated. Les Paul was made by Les Paul, but that's a Gibson brand thing. The SG is a Gibson brand thing. The Fender double cutaway, like the Stratocaster style, Telecaster style body, that's a Fender thing. But they're very ubiquitous. There were a ton of Les Paul knockoffs that came out of Korea and Japan back in the 70s. Um, Dean has been making flying V's since like 1979, even though that was originally a Gibson thing. And so since about 1978, 1979, companies have not really been held accountable for the body shape of a guitar. It was considered fine. We don't, as long as the headstock doesn't say Gibson when it's not, we don't give a shit, right? So you're technically a new person, Froggy. But Gibson sued Dean over its Explorer and Flying V style guitars. They won. They were appealed by Dean, and then they won again. And they basically said that the Flying V Explorer and SG were unique to Gibson, which is really, really bad because Gibson is the mega corporation of the guitar world. They are the biggest guitar production company, maybe not as big as Fender. I don't actually know which is bigger, but they're one of the big two, which is Fender and Gibson. Nobody's paying any attention to me, but this is kind of important because if you're a musician and you want a good guitar, there are these companies like Schecter, ESP, Ibanez, right? They produce really, really good guitars and almost always at a way better price than Gibson does. Dean is also one of them. So you can't afford like a Gibson Explorer, right? Because it's a fucking $3,000 guitar or whatever. So you go to Dean and you get a really good Flying V for say $700, like a really good one for like $700. Well, now you can't. It's trademarked. Dean can no longer make those, right? And because they won the suit on so many body styles, other companies can no longer produce SG shapes. They can no longer produce Flying V shapes. They can no longer produce Explorer shapes, which means that you have to go to the mega corporation in order to buy. And you guys are just not paying attention. You guys are all having conversation about something, Lockheed Martin. I don't even know why I talk. Basically, if you're a poor musician, fucked. You're fucked. Get fucked. Just get fucked. That's the point I'm trying to make. Get fucked. And if you're a luthier, like you're a small guitar company that's trying to break in, you're fucked. Like it's actually a huge deal to me because smaller manufacturers like Grisenia, right? Woodwright. Let me think. Who else? Dunnable. You're fucked. Get fucked. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's a guitar monopoly. And here's the thing: Gibson does not produce good musical equipment anymore. They have terrible quality control issues. People buy guitars and they're legit like unplayable. They're fucked. So they'll go out and they'll spend like $2,500 on a Gibson Les Paul and they'll get it. And it's like they haven't smoothed any of the frets. The frets are totally fucking uneven. There's chips in the fucking neck. The pickups are got cold joints, so they don't even pick up any particular sound. So now you have to take them to a fucking luthier or a tech to fix the $2,500 guitar you just bought. And so when smaller companies like Dean and Jackson and Ibanez and even smaller companies like Dunnable, Grisenia, Woodwright, they produce these guitars, they're higher quality for a lesser price. They now can get sued. That it makes me so fucking angry. I want to punch the CEO of Gibson in the face. Well, here's the problem. you can go to these smaller luthiers, get a higher quality instrument of the same body type for a smaller price. But now you can't. Now they have a monopoly, right? And so from the end consumer's perspective, they now no longer have a selection. They have to get the SG body type from Gibson for $2,500 plus dollars. They now have to get the Flying V from them, right? Solar guitars, right? They can't make Flying Vs or Explorers anymore. Grzinia can't either. So from the consumer's perspective, they can no longer buy their preferred body shape because a company has a monopoly on that body shape. And from the perspective of luthiers, right, that make these body shapes or variations of these body shapes, they can no longer sell their guitars. So take Grzinia, for example. It's a small luthier out of Chicago. They make a number of guitar shapes, right? This is basically a Les Paul Jr. It's a double cutaway Les Paul. It's a cross between a double cutaway Les Paul and a Gibson SG. Trademarked body shape. Sorry, you can't sell this guitar anymore. This is an Explorer. Well, if it will pop up. This is an Explorer. Sorry, this is trademarked by Gibson. You can't sell this anymore. This is an RD. Sorry, this is trademarked by Gibson. You can't sell this anymore. I wish the internet were a little bit faster. So of these guitars, on paper, they could get in trouble for selling this, 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 and this. The only guitar shapes that they could get away with are this guy, and this guy. So from their entire in-stock line of guitars, of which there are 9, 12, 15, 16, of these 16 guitars, they can sell 3. They can sell 3. They can sell 3 of them. And here's the thing. This Baroness, right? This double cutaway. It's one of my favorite body shapes of guitar. Incredibly hard to find this body shape. Gibson doesn't even make a lot of these. Right? But they could maybe make the argument that this is too close to an SG. Right? If you were to go to like ESP guitars, what's interesting is Fender doesn't give a lot of grief about this. So if they have like an offset Fender shape, no one gives a fuck. But I bet you if I go into Fender guitars, it would be the same thing all over. Not custom shop. Products, guitars. Let's see what body shapes we're allowed to have. Oh my God. Just. Okay, here we go. All right. So this might be okay. It's almost an Explorer, though. You got to be careful. Let's see. What wouldn't be allowed? Sorry, but this EX201's too close to an Explorer. You can't make that anymore. Too close to a Les Paul. Can't make it anymore. Too close to a Flying V. Can't make it anymore. Les Paul. Can't make those. Can't make that. That's more like a Telly. You could maybe get away with that. It's just crazy. You can't. Nope. Sorry. It looks like a Les Paul. Looks like a Les Paul. Looks like a Les Paul. Can't make those. And so I don't know what guitar companies are going to do. It's one of the worst things to happen in the guitar community in forever. It's wild. It actually scares the shit out of me because Gibson is notoriously expensive for garbage product. They didn't used to be. Gibson used to make good stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to bitch about that.
Develop a version of Minecraft that runs on an Apple TV. And not only that, but also Mojang had to pretend they gave a shit about their community. Oh, it was just terrible. But the worst part of it all...
That's the reason why traditionally you couldn't patent body shapes. You patented the headstock because that was your trademark. That's where your name went, you know? I've got this shitty Fender knockoff, right? Well, this is not a scroll headstock. It's very close, but it's not exactly a scroll headstock. So it doesn't break Fender's trademark because of the headstock shape. And it doesn't say Fender. It says Standard 101. So this actually survives the argument, right? As soon as you start trademarking this part, you've got a problem. How many fucking double cutaway guitars are there in the world? If Fender decided, I'm sorry, but this is the Stratocaster shape, you can't make guitars shaped like this anymore. God, this is so old. There's also a tool sticker on the bottom. This is such an old guitar. It's rusted through and through. I still play it just about every day, though. This is my favorite cheap guitar of all time. I even thought about buying another one because they're like $100 guitar. Ugh. But no, it worries me a lot because smaller luthiers are the way to go now, and unfortunately, they're going to get fucked out.
Mojang had to work tirelessly to make an iOS game run on an operating system derived from iOS. It was previously thought impossible by the greatest minds in computer programming.
Yeah, we're talking about the Shadow of Mordor Nemesis system being copywritten. Fuck.
But Mojang proved them wrong on December 19th, 2006.
They would.
When Minecraft Apple TV Edition...
Yeah, because that's the thing. They don't even have to win the suit. They just have to lock them up in trial until they go bankrupt.
...launched for this magical black box. As far
We also need to talk about getting rid of private equity firms. Private equity firms need to go.
as the history of this version goes, if you want a history lesson on it, check out my previous
If your entire job is to gut companies that aren't even failing, you need to go.
video documenting its release, disappearance, and preservation.
Japan is a little bit different because we're dealing with Japanese copyright law. See, this is why I'm thinking about pivoting to YouTube content more. Where we just decide what are we talking about today? We're going to talk about like trademark infringement and monopolies, right? And then we have like a 2 or 3 hour conversation about monopolies. Then I go do research deeper into the things that we talk about and make a video on it. Because I think I probably could, right? I could literally bring up the things that you guys bring up, like the Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor. I could bring up Power World and its issue with, oh God, it's not Namco. Whatever the company is that owns Pokemon, right? Or we could talk about like old Super Nintendo games and how you can't emulate them, but you also can't buy them except used. And even though they don't make any money off of it, they copyright this shit so hardcore, they're literally sending FBI to people's houses to investigate them fucking, you know, making ROM hacks and stuff, which has actually happened, right? It can go into guitars, all these things. Copyright is actually slowing progress. It's literally just do something meme. Sony copyrights the Bloodborne PC port and then sits on, yeah. Well, because they know that they have to be bought out in order to use Bloodborne, right? That's why they hung on to Spider-Man. Because they know that if Disney wants exclusive rights to Spider-Man, they have to pay them literally hundreds of millions of dollars. That's actually super cute that he did that. I'm sure the cop didn't give a fuck. Oh, fuck. Hang on. I've got more stickers I want to put on that guitar, but I actually I'm thinking about making that guitar into a parts caster. Talking about the stickers because the 9 Inch Nail sticker, I've got some Fuzzlord stickers here because I have some Fuzzlord Effects Alchemist pickups. I've been looking for a 6-string guitar for a long time to put the Fuzzlord Effects. It's based on Master of Reality, but if you read it, it says Fuzzlord Master of Effects, because the Fuzzlord effects they revolve around making doom metal effects pedals and gear. So they're very cool. So literally my Fuzzlord Effects Alchemist pickups are designed to give you that 60s, 70s Black Sabbath fuzzy pedal platform sound. Very, very cool company. This is my other one. It looks like there's nudity, but there's not. I can show you the pickups. Hang on. The pickups look cool too. can't find them, I'm gonna be real sad. What the hell did I do with them? Hang on, chat. Now I'm worried that my $300 pair of pickups are missing. What the fuck did I do with them? Where did they go? They must be fine. Well. Oh well, never mind. I don't know what I did with them. Oh, I wanted to do a video. I wanted to do a video where it's sort of like a keyboard build, but it would be sort of a guitar build where I break the guitar up and I put these pickups in there. I was gonna do like a full rebuild, like new pots, like new volume, new tone pots, new blade switch, solder everything myself, rig up split coil, all that stuff. Man, the sun is trying to fuck me right now. Listen, I'm glad that it's a sunny day. That's a bit much. Chill out, sunlight. I don't want to be in full black either. Calm down. Pick one. Somewhere between. There we go. Yeah, dude, it got really... It's because that's the West. But yeah, these are Fuzzlord Effects Alchemist pickups. This is where the stickers came from. They are wired for split coil, which is very cool. They are glow in the dark. They have the Sun O. So the Sun Amplifier logo, which these pop off. So you can put any pickup cover you want on these. It says Fuzzlord, although it's probably backwards for you guys. It says Fuzzlord with their logo. This is the bridge pickup. Very, 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 very cool. They're super hard to get your hands on. They sell for a very short period. These were Widdershins and Fuzzlord Effects got together to make these pickups. So they're overwound low to medium output pickups. So I wanted to find a Doomy style 6-string electric guitar that maybe didn't have the best pickups. Buy it, put those bad boys in it, which is why I've been looking at the Woodwright Warlord so much lately. Because if I can get my hands on a decent Woodwright Warlord for not a ridiculous price, then that's what I'm going to do.
I want to talk about the gameplay.
This is quite long. I wonder what this is about.
So without wasting any time, here it is. Wow, there it is. Let's talk about this icon. Apple TV icons work in layers. Developers are encouraged by Apple to use layers when making their icons for Apple TV to add a sense of depth. This design detail also goes for Apple Vision Pro. As you can see here on the home screen, the logo is a layer above the grass block texture.
It's actually
kind of
cool.
It's a very subtle detail, but it's cool if you notice it. tvOS also features a unique graphic for apps that are on the top of the dock. It's weird that this banner is never seen by the majority of users since you probably wouldn't be keeping Minecraft at the top of your home screen. To play this game, you have to sign into an iCloud account. None of this game's save data is stored locally, so if you don't have an iCloud account, your worlds are going to be lost in purgatory. Not that you can make any anyway, since you can't do anything without signing in. Speaking of signing in, Microsoft account. If you sign in, you can add this game.
Oh my god. So I have to have an iCloud account for saves, and then I have to sign into my Microsoft account in order to play Minecraft.
To your achievements list on Xbox, just in case you don't have enough versions of Minecraft in your library. This game is of course based on Minecraft at the time called Pocket Edition, so a lot of the UI is exactly the same as it was on the 1.1.5 version of Pocket Edition, but there are some differences and I'll get into more detail about that later. The store is here for skins, but of course it doesn't work anymore since support for this version ended 6 years ago. This is probably one of the most depressing things Microsoft has done since they dropped that bomb on Japan. Anyway, you've got all your settings and button mapping and all that jazz, and even patch notes that don't exist. The render distance goes up to 20 chunks, which is pretty impressive for a TV box. You've got all your video settings here, and let me tell you something. What the fuck is this? You can change the UI scale and make it look like it was designed by morons. The default UI is perfectly fine to begin with, but if it was any smaller, it would probably suck. I don't know what kind of freak would set the UI to this. Maybe if you have a 300-inch TV, I could see it, but otherwise, I would just call you a stupid idiot for using this setting. And if you're shocked by this, just wait till you see the setting in-game. Moving on to the main feature, creating a world is just like creating a world in literally any other version of Minecraft,
Hey, actress.
which is really
So what they did was they took an obscure version of Minecraft, ported it to Apple Television, right? Because they ported the Pocket Edition of Minecraft, once Minecraft moved on, you weren't able to use any of the online content from the more modern editions of Minecraft because it was broken. But before you could even get in to do anything like that, like grab anything off the internet, you have to sign into your iCloud account because that's how it saves games, right? But that means that nothing is saved locally. And then after you sign into your iCloud account, you have to sign into your Microsoft account to keep track of your Xbox achievements, basically, your Microsoft achievements. And then you finally get into the game and the UI is built super fucking stupid.
mind-blowing because I was expecting something completely different and unique that was like nothing else I've ever seen before in my entire life. You can create and join a realm. Just kidding, no you can't. You can create and join a world and get all them classic 2018 Pocket Edition settings. Now, I don't really need to talk about these, but here's something worth noting. If you've seen my worst versions of Minecraft video, you'll know how I talked about how every version has their own keyboard UI depending on the platform they're on. And of course, Apple TV has its own pop-up keyboard UI too. Here's the thing.
Oh my god. Why do they always use alphabetic? They always use alphabetic keyboards, which are a nightmare. They're a nightmare to use, especially where it's like 2 rows like this. How many times do you have to press right to type the letter T? So I'd have to go down, right, A, right, 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 S. S, left, 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 left. It's, think about it though. Like I'm trying to write assassin. A. S, fuck. A. Oh shit. S S I. That would be so shitty. I don't know why companies do this. Roku has a pretty decent one, but still, they should be 3 or 4 layers deep.
It doesn't work. You can't control the keys. You can try the Apple TV remote. You can try another Apple TV remote.
Oh my god, they don't have the directional buttons.
You can try a third
Holy
Apple TV
shit.
remote. You can try the original Apple TV remote. You can try a 5th Apple TV remote, and you can even try the Nimbus controller. No dice. Anyway you look.
Bro, how many Apple TVs do you got? You're bitching about Apple TV, but at the same time, you've got like 7 Apple TVs. Maybe don't do that to yourself.
Look at it, you're fucked. Well,
oh yeah, so like the Kinect one was good. The old Xbox 360 had an add-on for a built-in keyboard that you could attach to the bottom of your Xbox controller. Fucking loved them. I was very good with it. I was very good with that because you had the directional pad and a built-in keyboard right there, and the keyboard was about twice the size of a keyboard that you'd have on your phone. So you could two-handed type real easily. It was amazing. I loved it so much, but I do know what you're talking about because the old PlayStation 3s had gyroscopic control and you could use it to type things. And it was so much better. We also had this. It was so much better.
there is another option actually. If you get a wireless
Ah, man, I might actually get one for my Xbox controller because they were just so nice. I enjoyed them.
keyboard and connect it to the Apple TV, you can actually type. Now that's what I call beating the system. But you still can't hit enter. You can type
Oh
your
my
whole
God.
little heart out, but you'll never be good enough to hit that enter key. Why is it like this? I got no fucking clue. If you were holding a gun to my head, I'd probably shit myself. But if you were holding a gun to my head and asked me why it's doing this, I'd probably guess that it's because the game was developed for
Oh, dude. What I will say, and this is weird. One of the reasons why I liked the little keyboard attachment to the Xbox controller was it actually made it easier to play games. And the reason why I say that was it like redistributed the weight. So doing like a claw shape on your controller felt so much more natural with that little keyboard attachment. So even when I wasn't using the keyboard, I kept it attached because I liked the way it made my joypad feel. Not even gonna lie.
Or an older version.
That was back when I was actually good at using a controller too. That was the years where I was absolutely wrecking people on the Medal of Honor remake, Medal of Honor Warfighter or whatever.
A tvOS, and the system
Back when I
isn't
was good at
communicating
games.
properly with the application.
Damn.
I've got good news though. If you
Ye
use
old,
the
ye
Bluetooth
old
keyboard to
times,
type whatever you
like
want, and then click the
2010.
menu button on a remote to close the keyboard UI, the text you entered will input into the text box, despite not having hit the enter key. And just when I was beginning to think God isn't real. Anyway, aside from all the basic world options, there's nothing of note going on here, except the multiplayer tab. Now, since Microsoft doesn't support
How much is Black Shard Actress?
this version anymore, you'd probably assume you're stuck playing solo, right? Well, I'll get into that in a few. For now, let's start generating a world. And once we're in, wow, here it is.
Ooh.
It's unlike anything I've ever seen before in my entire life. It's truly amazing how they were able to get what is essentially an iOS game to run on a device that is almost literally iOS. It makes you wonder.
Did they ever? Yeah, but did they ever actually do anything other than talking to people? Are there any puzzle elements or
If
anything in
there's
the
any
game?
room left for other miracles.
Or do you
in
just
this
walk
world.
around and
In all
talk to people and
seriousness, for a
explore?
moment, I gotta say, the first thing I immediately noticed was the rather impressive frame rate. It's pretty consistently running at 60 FPS. Of course, it has its occasional and subtle frame drops, but
Well, I was
overall,
gonna
it's
do
bedrock
some
edition.
Generation Zero,
But it seriously
one
is
year it's not
impressive
gonna
to
be able
see
to
it
do
running
that
so
this week.
smoothly on a
And
dinky little
Thursdays,
10
I have been
Apple
doing
TV games
stupid
can be a
movie
pretty
day
impressive looking.
a lot more. So I don't have anything planned for this Thursday. I'm hoping to get my hands on Repo sometime soon, and we might play with the community, Crims, and everybody. Hopefully, if Crimson has the time, she's really stressed right now. She's got a lot going on. But I was thinking of doing stupid movie day tomorrow. I mean that's almost exactly the same in bills. The difference between euros, pounds, and dollars is pretty negligible. It does change every day though. So 450 pound sterling to USD. Actually, it's a lot more. Damn, did the pound lose a bunch of its cost? What happened to your economy, Britain? Jesus Christ. This used to be a lot closer. I would have guessed like $500 maybe, but no. Golly, I thought we had monopoly money. Holy shit. 450 euro to USD. See, this is more what I expected. This is a lot more what I expected. Yeah, I didn't realize. I thought you guys were closer to the euro than you were because the euro and the US dollar are usually pretty close. Sometimes they even switch places. So it's pretty rare though. I feel like the euro and US dollar switch places like twice. But to be fair, I mean, we've got monopoly money. Like, let's be honest. The US dollar isn't worth anything. Today I got a couple of energy drinks, a box of cat food, and gas for my car. Guess how much money I spent for those three things? I have to actually think about it. Yeah. Guess how much I spent on gas, cat food, and energy drinks today? You're close. It's actually less than that. I paid $90 today. $90 for gas, cat food, and energy drinks. 90 bucks. The thing that might throw you off. Nice one. Supreme nailed it. I was going to say, the thing that will get you is gas. Because while everything in the country is expensive, gas isn't. My gas is only $2.92. Well, it's $2.93 a gallon. Yeah, they are. But I haven't been drinking them lately. I went without energy drinks for a long time because I realized I was getting addicted to them. And today I broke my I fell off the wagon, Chad. I got a rock star. Yeah, gas prices are always good in the States comparatively. But now I have to reiterate this all the time. The US has incredibly high demand for gas. Like we just have way more cars than you guys. We're a very car-centric country. So it makes sense that our gas prices will be lower because they make plenty of money, trust me. Well, it's because we're so reliant on vehicles in the US, right? We're so reliant on our cars. If you can't afford gas, you're fucked. Are you saying that the US is poorly designed? I was going to say, I actually don't think so. I think it's just designed different because so a lot of your countries existed way prior to conventional vehicles. It existed before buses and trains and cars and planes, right? You're talking about like horse-drawn carriage and footpaths. Most of our country came after the train, right? If it wasn't for two particular train lines, the western portion of the country would have taken like another 100, 200 years for us to occupy the West Coast. And so because of that, our country being something like 3,000 or 5,000 kilometers wide, right, has a very train and car centric transportation system because most of it was literally designed after the train and during the car. Our cities are still walkable. What are you talking about? Our cities are still walkable. You think you can't walk in a city? I think you need to come to the US. I think you have some preconceived notions that that are a little incorrect. It does depend on the city. LA would be hard to walk around in. But just because LA is so sprawling, it's so fucking wide. But the majority of people in like New York don't even own a car. They literally walk everywhere. You know, like and where I live, I if I had a bicycle, I could do most of the things I need to do. I could honestly probably take a bike to work. Yeah, it's sprawling. The US is very sprawling, right? But another thing that you have to consider is our transportation system was designed for a continent, not a country. Thinking of the US as a country is kind of not the correct way to think about it because US literally stands for United States. So if you think of each individual state as being like its own separate country and then realize that they had to design a transportation system primarily for motor vehicles and trains to span across 50 countries, you'd be like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, our country's transportation is literally made for cars. Unless you're in the city. See, I think you're wrong because if you live in a city, you absolutely can get around on foot, no problem. I've lived in a number of cities and have never had an issue with that. Cities also have generally really good public transportation. And we also have like free scooters or bikes, usually scooters in most cities to help people to navigate the city more quickly. So for instance, I take my sister to Lexington for her doctor appointments. Scooters are absolutely everywhere. Walk paths are literally everywhere. When I lived in Dallas, we actually had two sets of what we call tunnels, one that was underground and one that was above ground that are specifically footpaths for people and only people so that you can navigate through the city without even touching the street if you didn't want to. I think it just depends on where you are. See, the problem about coming to blanket conclusions about the US is it's just too fucking big. Because I bet you if you were like in East LA, you would have like a much more accurate argument to make. East LA would be rough to walk around on foot. It's 100 degrees, everything is sprawling, very dangerous in certain places. You wouldn't want to be walking around unless it was the middle of the day. You know what I mean? And like if you live in really rural America, everything is so far apart, walking doesn't make sense. So where I live close to the city center of my hometown. The problem is I have to cross a highway to get to that city center. But with the exception of crossing that highway, I can walk everywhere on foot. I can walk up to the convenience store. I have a grocery store, two convenience stores, a church, and a shopping center, and like three restaurants within walking distance of my home. So it really just depends. I think, yeah, I think Brant's right. I think it just depends on where you live. Yeah, I did. Yeah, because my car got trapped at work and I needed stuff but didn't have a car. So I walked through basically a blizzard to the grocery store and two convenience stores and a grocery store looking for what I wanted. Yeah, if you live in the middle of nowhere, it is definitely not built to be walked. It's definitely not. There are definitely rural areas where you have to have a vehicle, period. But it's one of the few places in the world where you have such sprawling rural communities. That's in the first world, mind you. There are probably a lot of like sprawling rural communities in the third world, but not so much in the first world. I would gauge that Russia probably has a lot of that, just because how big its country is. China maybe too. So, but yeah, like where I live, I absolutely could walk pretty much. I could survive where I am right now just walking. Work would be a little bit hard, but the reason why work would be hard is because I take two duffel bags, a backpack, and groceries to work. So like not having a vehicle would be very difficult, not because the distance, but because the amount of stuff I'd have to take. Yeah, suburbs in the US look like everywhere in the US. Every suburb looks the same. There's very few ways to tell what's different. Like, okay, what's the foliage, right? Or you got a bunch of deciduous trees, but it looks hilly. You're probably East Coast somewhere. You've got a whole bunch of evergreen trees and it looks very fucking hilly. You're probably in the Rockies somewhere. Does it look like really dry? Like really fucking dry, but mountainous? There are palm trees. You're probably in the Southwest. Does it look really, really dry? But there it looks really dry. There are palm trees, but it's flat. You're probably in like New Mexico or Texas. It's interesting. What is this? You guys have your own wiki for the Finnish mechanical keyboard community. You guys are on crack. Why couldn't you just make it the mechanical keyboard community? Why does it have to be Finnish? I guess because you guys do meetups? I mean, this is cool. I think we get the point. This version of Minecraft sucks. Um, but yeah. I would like to do more keyboard builds and stuff. I just don't have the money. Froggy builds keyboards. Froggy builds keyboards. Fucking Stid builds keyboards, Froggy. Froggy, Stid builds keyboards. There we go. I'm getting my language worked out, chat. Sorry. But no, I would love to do a guitar build, like a parts caster on stream. I think that'd be fun. Krusty. Krusty is Alfred. Just, there's no way. It doesn't matter. She doesn't need to know who you are because you're just going to change your name again like day after tomorrow. Bozo the Clown is Stid, Alfred, Krusty, Leah Vott, or whatever. Like it doesn't matter at this point. You have too many usernames. You have an identity crisis is what you have. You should just change your name to Identity Crisis, or I don't know, man. Fuck. Like he does. He changes it all the time. It's gotten to the point he changes it frequently enough that when I get new viewers, I'm not even joking about this. When I get new viewers, I assume it's him. Every time. It's actually kind of fucked my interaction with new viewers because where I assume it's him, I don't interact as much. Like if I get someone new, I try to talk to them. You know what I mean? Like I try to have a one-on-one conversation. But now I don't because I'm like, oh, it's just Alfred. He's changed his name again. I shit you not. I have done that like 6 times. Yes, but also you're different on every platform. It's not just Twitch. Because there's the interaction between Discord and Twitch. You've changed your name on Twitch like 3 or maybe 4 times. And then or not Twitch, on Discord like 3 or 4 times. And on Twitch like twice. So from my perspective, you've changed your name like 6 times. It is a thing. It is 100% a thing. Notice that if you talk to me on Discord, I'm AssassinTeddies. If you talk to me on Twitch, I'm AssassinTeddies. If you talk to me on YouTube, I'm AssassinTeddies. You talk to me on Kick, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, AssassinTeddies, 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 AssassinTeddies. You're like Alfred, Stid, Leovod, Krusty. It's all over the place. Well, whatever. It's still, from my perspective, is confusing. Because I just don't know anymore. It does create ambiguity. I promise you it does. And it's okay. I'm not telling you don't change your name. I'm just saying you've changed it enough that it does actually legitimately cause confusion with me because I get my wires crossed. Sometimes you'll send me a message and I'll forget that your name on Discord is different than your name on Twitch. I'll be like, who the fuck is this? And then I open the conversation. I'm like, oh yeah, it's Did. Okay. No, don't ban alts. No, it's fine. I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying. Man, I watched this video and it was really good, but FL Studio got the thing that Ableton had that I wanted. FL Studio finally got the thing that Ableton had that I wanted. They called it New Time, which is time-based quantization for audio files, which is so good. That is so good. I think Morinir is being tongue-in-cheek. Don't get too sensitive about that. I think he's just fucking around. I could be wrong, though. Morinir does get sensitive about stuff, which actually makes him kind of a good admin. Because he's more critical than I am. You know what I mean? Which, I will say, though, like, that could... Ow, shit. That could... I'm having a short stream today. I don't even know if I'm going to play anything. I'm actually going to probably get off here in like 30 minutes. So we might do Ina tomorrow. Oh, I don't mean that in a negative way. Looking back, it made it sound like that was like a passive aggressive jab at Morinir. It wasn't meant to be. I just mean his patience for bullshit is way less than mine. Oh, yeah, I know I can. I just don't do that. I will try to do Ina this week, but probably not today. I'm going to get off here in like a half hour and I'm going to spend the afternoon doing music stuff because that's what I want to do. It's like a really nice day. And what I do is I expend all my energy on stream. And then when I'm off stream, I can't do anything for myself. Stemkey, stop. I give Morinir to the permission to mute or ban Stemkey if he's too much of a dick. I'll just mute or unban him later. But he shouldn't. He shouldn't. Don't test too much. You're going to piss people off. You got to learn when to stop trolling a little bit. God, my rib hurts. I promise you I'm not having a heart attack. It's the wrong side. My actual rib hurts, and I don't know why. I think I slept wrong. Well, a Twitch ban isn't even a permanent thing. Yeah, don't ban them off Discord. But no, a Twitch ban isn't a permanent thing. Fucking Carl Sagan 42 bans people for the fun of it all the time and then unbans them like 15 minutes later. He literally does that all the time. It's a shtick. So Twitch is not a big deal because you could just be unbanned 5 minutes later. Discord is different. You like block or delete someone off Discord, it fucks up things. I know because I did it to Stid one time and I didn't realize it would fuck up conversations and shit as bad as it did. I'm not gonna do that again. You have to be really, really evil to get kicked off Discord because it's too much work trying to fix it after. I wonder if this is about like Euronymous and Varg. Isn't that Varg on the right there? I'm 100% certain that the dude on the right there is Varg. Varg Vikernes.
You've probably heard the
from
saying,
Mayhem.
10% of people do 90% of the work. And a lot of
That's actually an exaggeration. It's 2080.
times this is true for bands. There will be one member that is essentially the leader. So what happens when another band member wants to be the leader instead? Well, there are other sayings
Varg.
such as too many cooks spoil the broth or two captains sink the ship. Except for in this story, it's not the ship that goes down.
Yeah, Yeah, I wouldn't get too sensitive about it.
You may
On
have
Twitch
heard
anyway.
A rough summarization of
It's
the
more of a
story,
bit on Twitch
but
than
it's
it would be on like
truly
Discord.
The details that are interesting. Warning.
I mean, Varg Vikernes accidentally stabbed his bandmate like 30 times. He fell down a stairs and the knife just went in and out like 30 times. Dude, do you know the story of Varg Vikernes? It's wild. Dude, the story of Mayhem is the craziest metal story of all time. Oh, it does. Wow, I didn't know that. I wonder if Carl Sagan 42 knows that because he literally has 2 or 3 people that he bans all the time. They're level creators, and if a level trolls them too hard and it pisses him off, he will ban them just as like a bit and then unban them like 10 minutes later. There is no shot that, I mean, Varg is free now, right? He didn't go back to prison. Oh my God, it actually, there's no way. The thing I don't like about Varg is he's like weirdly a white nationalist, I think. Which bums me out because like he served a lot of time for a murder. He did a lot of evil shit. But he sort of paid his debt to society, at least to an extent. I mean, it's kind of hard to pay your debt to society when you kill someone. But it's being like a white nationalist crosses the line. Like, dude, I can't like you after that. Is that really Varg? Is he really that fucking old now? He looks like Santa Claus. Oh my God, it is.
So why don't I talk about the positive things about the black metal scene? Let's find out.
I believe that too. So I'm going to be honest. I do think that to an extent. So what Varg did was wrong. He could have handled it way better. But do I think that Varg was in danger? Yes, I do. You know, his bandmates were beyond delinquent. You know, Euronymous unalived himself with a shotgun, and then his friends arranged the gore of his body so that they could take a better picture of his dead body to use as an album cover. Like, they were not good people. They went way beyond teenage angst. They were a fucked up group of individuals.
Individuals in it
Then he says
contributed in any positive way. The whole extremist thing, the whole extremist concept that Euronymous created and pushed was motivated by envy and jealousy. He didn't want the other bands to succeed, so he pushed the bar higher and higher in order to be accepted by him as the central figure of the whole scene. his own band was in ruins, as I explained in one of the other videos.
I actually
They
have a bit of a theory that psychopathy is maybe a little bit more commonplace in places that have a more extreme natural environment. I do. I think it's a thing. I think not necessarily how remote it is, but how dangerous the environment is. Not necessarily like the societies or civilizations they're in. But I would guarantee you that there are more psychopaths like deep in the deserts of the world, deep in the jungles of the world, deep in the frozen tundras of the world. Because psychopathy has some evolutionary advantages when it comes to survival. And so even though it's well civilized now, right? Thousands of years of living in a hard environment, or even just hundreds, a couple generations of living in an incredibly hard environment would probably produce a disproportionate number of psychopaths. It's just a hypothesis. I have no idea if it's true, but I feel like there would be something to that because psychopaths do actually serve an evolutionary purpose. What are you coding, Captain? I need to get Linux on this computer. I also need to get a hub for my hard drives because I have too many. I can't plug them all in at once, and I actually record to my solid state, which I don't want to do. I need to move my files from the solid state to my external drive. I need to cut out a terabyte for Linux. I need to move whatever it is I need to move in Microsoft so I can install Linux. And then I need to get Arch installed to like the final terabyte of my hard drive because I want to test my music software on Linux and see if I can actually get everything working. Because I could find alternatives to like Photoshop and stuff, and I could probably make do. But there are no alternatives to like Neural DSP or Serum. Well, Serum maybe, but definitely not for like Neural DSP, Amplitude, shit like that. That's super cool, actually. So you're building in redundancy. Very neat. Why would they, though? Why do they need security?
God damn it, the firewall's encrypted! I need more time, damn it! I need more time! God damn it, the firewall's encrypted! I need more time, damn it!
He's on Windows 7, I think. Bro's on Windows 7. Yeah, he's definitely on Windows 7. That's so funny, dude. Something about that makes it better. Something about that just makes it better. But yeah, I do finally want to get to testing everything on Arch Linux. And if I can get my preferred software in my old projects to actually work on Arch Linux, I may move away from Windows permanently at that point. Because I know I can play pretty much all the games I want to play. That's not going to be a problem. The music software bit really worries me. I thought about, because I need to reinstall Linux on my all-in-one, rigging up my audio device on the all-in-one and doing a test run with Arch on it. But it would mean unplugging the shit and moving it in there, and it's like, fuck, man, do I want to do that, really? This is really repetitive. Can you believe that from this video, they got like $750 from this video? It's real repetitive. Boots and cats and 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 boots and cats. What did I call my stream today? Oh. Or this has a nice title. This video is intended for promotional purposes anyway. Oh, okay. Oh, 2142? Interesting. One thing I find interesting is I know a lot of people like Doom Eternal, but I liked Doom 2016 better. I actually never even finished Doom Eternal. I got bored with it. Is that psychopathy? Is that insane? Because I know a lot of people loved it, and it's not bad. It's just okay. The music is by far the best part of Doom Eternal. And I think most of my favorite tracks are also from Doom 2016. It just was okay. I was playing on like a real hard, like a ultra violence. I think like I just started from the beginning on ultra violence, and it's totally doable. It's not insanely difficult. But it was just okay. It was, I don't know. I'd give it like a 6.5, maybe a 7 out of 10. It wasn't anything to write home about. Damn, I didn't know that. When did 2142 come out? I don't think I ever played this one, chat. I don't think I ever played 2142. Yeah, I don't think I ever played this. Damn, I need to figure out how to get it and play it. My favorite Battlefield was by far Battlefield Bad Company 2. I was also really good at that, though. That's probably why I liked it so much, was because I was actually really good at that one. I was good at Battlefield 3 also. Damn. It makes me miss the old Battlefields, chat. I loved them so much. The only game that there's like a handful of shooters I liked after Black Ops 2. Just a handful. Battlefield 3 maybe was the last like really good one. BattleBit was one of them. I'm really disappointed with the way BattleBit went. I really firmly believe that if there was a group of developers interested in making a Battlefield-like game, and they went the same route where they're like, let's make a Battlefield game that can run on pretty much any machine, right? That can run on almost anything. You could run it on a fucking toaster if you wanted to. Maybe that's not as Robloxy, but that doesn't really matter. If there was a team invested in doing that, and all they did was they listened to their players, and they came out with quarterly updates. So every 3 months, you have some significant update to your game. You would make fucking hand over fist. I have a feeling that you would make a shit ton of money. Assuming you could get enough people to play it in the first place. That's the hard part. That is the hard part, is getting people to play it in the first place. But BattleBit showed that there was like a vacuum that needed to be filled, and then unfortunately they filled it for a short time and then kind of abandoned it, which is really sad. And I fucking loved BattleBit. dude, I don't know. The most impactful on me personally, like the film that had the most effect on me subjectively, not the most impactful objectively, probably Fight Club. Probably Fight Club. Legitimately. It's such a shame. It's such a shame that it died. And it honestly was just because they promised updates and then didn't give them. That's what did it. Hang on. Yeah, I don't think it would help you. I think it's too late. The reason why Fight Club had such a profound impact on me was because I watched it when it came out in 1999. So I was like 11, right? And Fight Club is one of those movies that when you're 11 years old, it's a cool action movie. And there's like some raunchy scenes in it that makes 11-year-old laugh. Like, the fact that she bumps into a chest of drawers with a big rubbery dildo on it and it wobbles. And she says, "Don't worry, it's no threat to you." Right? As an 11-year-old, you're like, "Oh my God, this movie is so for adults. I shouldn't be," you know what I mean? And then you get to be a teenager and you start to see like the way the world is. And you are questioning like what your purpose in the world is, especially as a guy. It is a very male-centric movie. I don't see girls liking it as much because it does sort of cover the topic of the aimlessness of males in a modern first world capitalist society, right? And so your questions of what do I want to be in the world? What do I want to do when I grow up? What direction am I going in? They're reflected by the movie. And then you get old enough, like you're 18, 19 years old, and you're working a job you don't like, and you barely make enough money, and you're kind of filling this hole in your soul with consumerism, right? You're buying things not just because you like them, but because you feel like they somehow represent you, right? And Fight Club totally discusses how consumerism is used to fill the void in people's souls and how it's empty. It's just an empty thing. It doesn't mean anything. Consumerism is not going to help you to find any kind of purpose. And then you get into like your mid to late 20s and you feel very disenfranchised. You're like, fuck, I was promised all these things when I was a kid and I never got any of them. And you get kind of angry at the world. And then you watch the movie and you're like, oh, I get it. I get why he lost his shit. I get his realization that consumerism wasn't going to fill that hole in his soul, led him to literally lose his fucking mind and concoct this wild scenario where they found purpose by engaging in meaningful activities with other males, right? Which arguable whether or not fighting each other is meaningful. But if you watch the film, you'll know what I mean. And then you start to get in your 30s and you're like looking at these alternatives to consumerism, and you're looking at these alternative means of finding purpose in the world. And you realize that in the protagonist's insanity, he found a substitute for the things that he was missing in his life. But he swung so far in the opposite direction, literally becoming a terrorist, that you realize that your reaction to that consumerism, if it's overinflated, is just as bad. That the solution to your problems was not all this wild, crazy shit you did. You still haven't found any kind of meaningful purpose in life, despite all these insane things you do to combat your feelings of meaninglessness, right? So it's really wild because if you watched that movie when you were young and you grew up with it and you watched it a whole bunch of times, the movie takes on these multiple meanings throughout your entire life, especially as a male, right? And by the time you get to my age, it takes on a completely different meaning than it did when you were 11. Now it's vaguely a gay rom-com. It sort of is in a weird way. He sort of embraces the masculine in a very intimate way. It's wild. But anyway, that's That's just my take. Unfortunately, it was one of the most meaningful movies to me, and it helped to kind of guide my thought process through my life. And thankfully, I didn't get too lost in the Fight Club aspect, because I had a lot of friends that did, that really did go that rebellious teenage youth, reject the system. And me, I was smart enough to realize that it was actually a criticism of not just the system, but attempts to rebel against it. Is it my favorite movie? No, but it was very impactful to me. Another impactful movie would be the original Blade Runner, because being a very technologically driven person, like loving computers and video games and stuff, I had long suspected that if we made a sufficiently accurate simulation of consciousness, that we wouldn't be able to differentiate it, right? And the cyberpunk genre really was a form of speculative fiction, science fiction, that looked at what it meant to be human, what it meant to be sentient, what it meant to be conscious, what free will is, can we prove that we're human, etc. So on a deeper philosophical level, Blade Runner was hugely impactful, because it helped me to formulate a lot of the philosophy that I had speculated on throughout my life. So Blade Runner was also very influential. Trying to think what else. Dude, it's always the same. You always wade through a lot of garbage to get to gems. It's always been that way. Even when I was young, it was the same way. Maybe to a lesser degree, but it was the same way. Interstellar is also one of my favorite movies. Interstellar is pretty high up there. So is Arrival, actually. I think Interstellar and Arrival are two of my favorite science fiction films. Blade Runner being among them. Blade Runner 2049 as well. All very good. 2001 Space Odyssey is good, but I honestly think Interstellar might be my favorite science fiction film. I don't think it's as deeply philosophically impactful, though. It's just a good fucking movie. So the problem with that is that there is actually really good, impactful manga. Yeah, I actually disagree with that. Like, I'm not a weeb, but there is manga that is deeply, deeply impactful and philosophical, because comics and Japanese culture are so common and all-encompassing that you can find literally any kind of story in manga that you can find in any other medium. So there are definitely incredibly, deeply meaningful, philosophical, and impactful works of manga. The problem is, I'm not a weeb, no. The problem is they're hard to find. They are really, really, really hard to find. It's hard to find good manga, because there's so much isekai bullshit, not to mention erotica and stuff, that you have to wade through to get to the really good stories. I think Krusty's favorite is The Climber? I haven't read it. But you have said multiple times that it's one of the best pieces of fiction you've ever consumed, right? Listen, I'm very nerdy. I'm just not a weeb. I would have been considered a weeb when I was a teenager, because so few people watched anime, but so many people watch anime now. I don't think there's anything special in it. God. Thank you. I'm glad I look handsome. Someone sent me a DM hitting on me. They should be embarrassed. It's too bad I think I look like garbage, but that's beside the point. I don't like using weeb as a derogatory thing, really, but there definitely are weebs in the world. There are people that are just a little bit too obsessed with manga and anime. And for some people, it is not a phase, I don't think. I think that they really get into it and they stay into it for a long time. Yeah, it's not always a phase, yeah. It can be, though. For me, it wasn't that being a weeb was a phase. It was that when I was a kid, anime was not nearly as popular as it is now. Not even close. Very few people in my school watched anime or could even differentiate anime from just cartoons. Like most people, if you talked about anime, they'd be like, oh, you watch cartoons. That would be their thought, right? Which is why we actually had an anime club in my high school that I was a part of, right? Now, the reason why I joined that club wasn't because I was super into anime, although I did like a lot of the classics. It was because I had a lot of friends that were in that particular club. It was an opportunity to go hang out with them, and it introduced me to Cowboy Bebop, which is one of my all-time favorite anime. It may arguably be an overrated anime, but I still love it quite a bit for much the same reason as I liked Fight Club, because it has something to appeal to just about every audience. But as I grew up, it became more and more and more popular. So if you like anime, you're not a weeb anymore. You used to be. If you liked it at all, you were a weeb. A weeb is someone who is just a little bit too obsessed with it. Like you're getting into buying body pillows territory. You know what I mean? You have an unhealthy obsession with a female character or something. But she's 5,000 years old, I swear, kind of shit. Yeah, sometimes they stick. Yeah. I would say that for some people they are phases, and for others they're not. Um, I moved OBS over here, and when I moved OBS over here, it resituated chat, and the last comment was just ban from more near. That's funny. Yeah, I'm sorry we're having a short stream today. I just feel like going and fucking around with music. Like I really, if you have an anime body, really, is it a body pillow or is it an anime body pillow? If you have like a Miku body pillow, then bro, we need to have an intervention. We need to have a sit down conversation. Because it's just a body pillow. Okay, you're fine then. Okay, yeah, that's what I meant by the body pillow. Yeah. Well, those anime ones are only comfortable for a while. They get stiff after a while. No longer as comfortable. There's like every dude in chat immediately knows what I mean. And then any females in chat are like, what the fuck is he saying? Except one who will probably message me in a minute saying, you shouldn't say that. That's not appropriate. It's 18 plus, okay? There was this Hatsune Miku possum meme that was fucking hilarious, and I never have been able to find it again. Hatsune Miku, was it a raccoon? It was like Raccoon Miku or something like that. It was so fucking funny, dude. It was so funny. And I should have saved it, but I didn't, and I haven't found it since. It was one of the funniest memes I have ever read. I'm looking it up, and I'm skewing my fucking Google search results, bro. What? Oh, shit. That's really, really goofy. I'm pretty sure it was a possum. And an American opossum. I don't know that most take it too far, but a lot do. I read a really horrific story about a Russian teenager that was really, really obsessed with a particular anime. I don't remember what it was. And they killed off one of the main characters, and he was so depressed about the death of the main character, he took his own life. And then they brought that character back to life in the story, like in the next episode. So, dude was so obsessed with an anime, he unalived himself, even though that anime character came back. That's too far. Yeah, that's sad. That's really, really sad. I feel bad because I know what it's like to have like to really care about a fictional character. There are just some fictional characters I absolutely, I know they're not real, but I empathize with them so much. You know? Ryan Gosling in every film he does, basically. I already saw this, Morinir. I already saw this, but why is there a gravy seal at his Minecraft themed party? What is Holy Land? hang on, this is really small. A tormented soul, you, Kamashiro, has no place in society. His peers constantly abuse him at school, and he finds that he does not fit anywhere. Out of desperation, he stops going to school and ventures into the night in search of a safe haven where he will be accepted. As Yu roams the streets, he starts to believe he has found his place in society and a way to gain acceptance in a world of violence and lenient law. Yu takes up his fists in order to gain strength. What is this? I get that it has a relatively high score, but this sounds like the dumbest premise ever. You get picked on at school, so you start going out and beating homeless people in the middle of the night. That's your purpose? You found your purpose. Your purpose is beating up homeless people in the middle of the night. It sounds like a very mentally ill way to deal with being an outcast at school. That's what it sounds like, though. It builds a reputation as this is Bum Fights the manga. Now I'll bookmark this. I trust your taste, man. It might actually be good. A man with a passion for vending machines awakens to realize that he has not only died, but he has also been reborn as one of his beloved machines. Although he is a modern appliance in a fantasy world, he requires money in order to keep functioning. He is stuck in one location until a young girl named Lamis stumbles upon him. Amazed by the drinks and foods he sells, Lamis uses her blessing of might to lift him with ease and take him back to the village of Clearflow Lake. There, she officially dubs him Boxo. Okay, here's the thing. Between Holy Land and Jido Hanbaiki, whatever, Reborn as a Vending Machine, I want to read this one more. I'm not even going to fucking lie. I want to read this so bad. This is the dumbest. Oh my God, is there a fucking video? No shot, there's a video, chat. No. This deserves full screen. Hang on. Wait. Can we get like poorly auto translated? Yes, let's get some poorly auto translated. Make it better. This was supposed to be a short stream, chat. What have you done? It's such a trope in anime to have like the quick zoom out for the realization, and then the character yells into like a big reverb chamber. Like, why is that a thing in every anime? Zoom out, yell something, lots of reverb. Why? Why is that a thing? Bro definitely drew this girl's assets a little bit exaggerated. God, man. I have never liked those styrofoam cups of noodles. I've never had a good cup of noodles, ever. They probably have good ones in Japan, but I have never had a good cup of noodles, ever. Unfortunately. Hang on, do I have anti-CLI? Oh no, I might not anymore. I feel like I uninstalled it for some reason. Okay, maybe I didn't uninstall it on this. Oh, I didn't want to select this. I wanted to... Yeah. Oh my god, chat. Annie CLI has it. Let's go. Yes! Please tell me you've got...
ここはどこ
That's audio. That's not...
うん。
I don't think there are any subtitles. Shit.
ここはどこだ
No, it does! It has subtitles! Let's go!
湖なんでこんなところに俺はあそうだ
All right, we're not going to watch this on stream, but this is definitely something we should watch on stream. And if you're not familiar with Annie CLI, it's like the best. It's basically pirated anime at your fingertips always. No ads, no bullshit. I love it. It's so good. Give it a few decades is so true. What is the manga that releases a page every year? And why would they do that? Dude is going to get to like the third act, you know, high tower surprise and then die. You guys ever want to I'm going to depress everybody for a second here really quick. So Stephen King has been was writing a series called the Dark Tower series, one of my favorite series of books ever. Unfortunately, he got through, I think it was Wizard and Glass, his fourth book, and there was this elderly woman that wanted to know how the story finished because she was afraid she was going to pass away before the story was finished. And she definitely did, because it was like 20 years before he finished that story. I think he responded to her though, but what interests me is the ending that he provided to her, assuming he did provide her with an ending, the same as what we got in the books? Or did she get her own privatized ending to the story? Ooh. I don't think I ever started it. What are you talking about, great teacher Onizuka? I don't know what that is. If I do this, will it... I didn't know you could do that! Yo, okay, this is cool. Check this out. So... you can go up here and you can switch to Git Bash in order to run Annie CLI, but what you could just do is just literally type Git Bash, and then it opens this, and then you type Annie CLI, and then you search for great teacher, what is it? Onizuka? Enter. Watch it not work. No, it does. Dude! Dude! Is this appropriate? When the first shot is an upskirt, I begin to question whether or not it's an appropriate anime for me to watch on stream. Like, literally, the first shot is an upskirt. It's not? Wait, can I pipe? Can you pipe? Can I do like Neko, Para, and oh god, I don't know how to pipe on this. How do you pipe in Bash? Is it the pipe symbol? Hang on. Wow. Where do I have the pipe symbol? It's the enter key. Okay, hang on. Oh, it did the slash. Hang on. I don't think this will work. Yeah, it won't work. Will that work? Hang on. Does it have to be... Without the backticks? Okay. I question that. Here, you guys can't see this because it's in the way. It's also very small, so let's make it big. Maybe not that big because now you can't see it because I'm in the way. Hang on. Okay, so it's Neko Para. And then we would pipe Annie CLI. No. Is it illegal? Hang on. Neko Para, Cat's Paradise, and Neko Para, Cat Paradise. Dude. This is full-on weeb territory right here. It's messing with my frame rate, too. Yeah, it's an anime. It seems mostly fine. Hey, video scale? Oh, hang on. What? When could you do that? Numpad changes the scale? What else? Sorry, there are MPV shortcuts that are messing with OBS. Because it's numpad. I need an Elgato Stream Deck. What is this? Is it just about anime cat? Is this just a cat girl anime? Yeah, it's a cat girl anime. I don't actually see anything happening in this entire story. It's just some dude with a bunch of cat girls. It's real creepy, though. It's a real creepy anime. There's something very creepy about it. Like, there's something like vaguely pervy about the whole thing. Oh, so this is originally okay. It was originally something very adult. I'm pretty sure AniCLI doesn't have that, but I would not be surprised. What was it called? Nekopara? There's an OVA. There's Koneko no Hi no Yakusoku, which is one episode. And then there's the 12-episode anime. I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm checking to see whether or not... Oh, my bad. My bad. Yeah, I actually did not know that that's what that was. I had no... God, I also hate anime girl voices. They annoy me. Yeah, they're pretty tame. They are pretty tame. I have been watching some Sports Girls Climbing Club. I haven't watched the last couple episodes, but it actually was enjoyable. I enjoyed it. Very dumb. There's nothing, you know what I mean? There's no depth to it at all. It's literally just about rock climbing. I actually learned a lot about rock climbing. I didn't know. Surprisingly. It makes me wish the climber was an anime. Because I'd like to have like a more serious anime about rock climbing. I think it could be very good. I'm going to wrap up here in a second. But there is something about rock climbing I find very interesting that I didn't know about. I mean, I guess I could pirate it. I was thinking more it would be something nice to put on before I go to sleep, because before I go to bed at night, I rig up the laptop, I throw something entertaining on, and I watch it until I go to sleep. I could do the same thing with the manga, I guess, except I have to look at a screen to read the manga, and I'm not going to buy it until I know that it's good. Until I know that I like it, rather. I don't think you're talking about the same person, dude. That or I have amnesia, because I don't remember anything about Great Teacher. What the fuck is Great Teacher Onizuka? I have no idea what that is. Dude, I have never watched this. Dude, I have never watched this. No. No, I haven't. I actually do think you've confused me with someone else. 100%. Yeah, you have. I don't even recognize any of the characters or anything. You've got me confused to someone. Someone else must have watched it on stream, because it wasn't me. Yeah, I played the demo. I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed the demo, although I keep getting busted by the cops. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I also really liked The Darkest Files. I'm probably going to buy them both. I just can't afford to right now. So if anybody wants to give me The Darkest Files or Schedule 1, I will gladly play them on stream. They're both fun. The Darkest Files is way more serious, though. But no, man. I vaguely recognize, like, this shot, but I have never watched this, man. That's really interesting that you think that I watched this, because I have not. Don't recognize any of this.
なんだてめえら俺たち吉祥東の銀杯トリオに喧嘩売ろってのかこの野郎
Really low quality. There were noises in real life I needed to check. Dude, I have never seen this. I've never seen this, Krusty.
俺たちの集会場でうるせえなさあこの始末どうつけてもらおうか知らなかったんです勘弁してくださいよ知らなかった
I mean, is it good? So far, it just seems a little bit mid.
てめえ舐めてんのか
I do like the older art style, though. Broken fight, okay. Yeah, I have 100% not watched this, Krusty. You've got me confused with someone. For real, for real. Or I legitimately have amnesia, because I have not even the remotest recollection of this at all. Not even a little bit. Dude, like, if I watch this on stream, I'm being serious. If I watch this on stream and you guys can prove that I watched this on stream, then I will go see a doctor. Because it's not even like, oh, I don't remember this episode, or I don't remember this. I don't remember this at all. There is no recollection. I don't recognize any of this. I don't even recognize it a little bit. Legitimately, I have no recollection of any of this. So if I have watched this, then there is a very serious problem. I need to go to a doctor, because there's not even an inkling of recognition here. Like, I'm not even kidding. If you guys can prove that I watched more than maybe like a trailer 5 years ago, but if I actually watched episodes of this on stream and don't remember it, damn, dude, what?
やめろ手を出すんじゃねえこの方は湘南の伝説となった鬼幕の一人鬼塚英吉さんだだってミッドナイトエンジェルを潰し700キロで突っ走ったっていう
Yeah, not that there's anything against it. It might actually be a really cool anime. I just do not I mean, is it good? Is it worth watching? Bro, should we have an anime day? Should we have an anime day? I need to find a way to stream somewhere other than Discord and be able to watch anime and stuff without getting in trouble. Do you think I would get kicked off Twitch if I watched anime on stream? Would I get banned for that? I'm curious about that. I mean, it would never. I mean, you're not subscribed to me. But I already do bad movies. You don't have to be there for it. Yeah, I was gonna say, where? YouTube? Like, there's no subscription, man. You don't sub to me. Yo, listen, if you guys would sub to me at $5 a piece, maybe I will go affiliate, but I'd have to have a pretty significant number of people subscribe to me. And I know that people like Krusty don't like recurring payments. So he wouldn't subscribe to me, even though he's a regular. There's no shot he would. I actually had this conversation with Crims where I was like, listen, you need to set up a donation. She's like, well, I've got a shop, like a store that I'm setting up. And it's like, well, that's okay. But I would legit occasionally donate money to you for literally nothing in return. I don't want anything from your shop. No hate for the stuff that's in your shop. I just don't care about that. I just would give, just like, here you go. Here's some money for being cool. You know what I mean? I don't need anything in return. She doesn't have that set up, which is crazy. She should. She should do that. Because I have a donation system. I don't get a lot. Other than Captain, who's fucking ridiculous and needs to stop. Right? I don't think... I will say that I almost said his actual name. Nats. Nats donates too. I almost said Nat's real name. But no, like, dumb movie day, it would totally be plausible to watch a dumb movie and then have chat recommend an anime and we watch some of the anime, right? And it would be real funny for you guys because you could pick the most absurd, awful anime and force me to watch like an hour's worth. Like, I have to sit through 3 20-minute episodes or whatever. You could just absolutely wreck my shit. And really, I need to like find a way to take advantage of the dumb movie days. I kind of made a mistake by streaming to AssassinTeddies on YouTube. I should have an AssassinTeddies 2 that my streams get backed up on. And then what I should do is I should edit the content that I do on live stream plus content that I record to make videos to release on the main AssassinTeddies channel. The problem is I don't get enough people in on dumb movie nights. So the first time we did it, it was hilarious. There was a bunch of people in here. We were all cutting up and making jokes and stuff. But I can't carry like a 20-minute YouTube video about a stupid movie by myself. I have to have enough people watching with me, cutting up and telling jokes and pointing out stuff for it to be entertaining. Yeah, I would just have to actually get people from Twitch over to it. That's the issue. That's the barrier to entry. That's the same thing I was talking to Crims about with Patreon, is you will get some people, but believe it or not, there's quite a big barrier to entry just having anybody navigate to a different site at all. It's a thing. People just don't for some reason. If I really liked a person, I absolutely would. Yeah, I have nothing against streaming to Nahi. I would have for one thing, I could stream better quality content, like actually higher quality video. You guys have a better picture and everything, but I'd have to convince chat to go over there. If you guys would agree to do it, I would definitely do it. But yeah, I'd have to have enough people. The thing that worries me about dumb movie night is that last time I did it, I had 2 people. It was Gonk and Stemke. And no issue, like I like Gonk and Stemke, but just 2 people. That didn't feel like too much of a movie night. The first time we did it and there was like 6 or 7 people, it was great. It was hilarious. Well, the cool thing about a dumb movie is you don't sit quietly, right? With a really good movie, you want to sit quietly because you don't want to miss anything, right? You want to pay attention. And then if anybody talks, you're compelled to stop the video right away because you don't want to talk over anything, right? The fun of a stupid movie is you get to make fun of it with your friends. And if you talk over a portion, no one gives a shit because it's not going to win an Oscar. This is fucked up to say, it doesn't make good content because a good movie is already its own good content. It's less fun. Yeah, so we could watch good movies if you wanted to, but it would just be us sitting quietly in a Discord call for 2 hours and then, yeah, it's quite interesting. You could maybe do it with classic movies that people have already seen. You could maybe get away with that. You could maybe be like, let's watch Aliens or something that people have already seen. Yeah, I don't want to have a highbrow philosophical conversation about movies. I don't like those conversations are fun sometimes, but mostly they're boring. I already think too much. I don't want to be like, what is free will and does it exist? That does not sound like a fun time. I'm going to be real. I would, as a fairly intelligent person, I want to laugh at fart jokes. Like, I'm going to be honest. I have noticed this thing where maybe when you're young, it's different. But if you're a deeply philosophical person and you start to get a little bit older, you want a break from it. So movies are a way to escape from those deep philosophical questions that give you existential dread. I don't want to watch movies that give me more existential dread. Do you know what I mean? When I was younger, I was all about highbrow movies. Loved it, man. Let's watch Barry Lyndon, you know. What does the corridor mean in 2001: A Space Odyssey, you know? And then when I got older, I'm like, I want to watch Commando starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. That scene where he uses the circular saws to like throwing stars and fucks people up, man. It's pretty cool. You know what I mean? Like, you just, because it's just pure escapism. Yeah, but that Mando isn't even funny. That's not escapism. It just makes me aggravated. I don't want pure brain rot either. I want just a feel-good fun time, and Mando is not it. Mando, like, there is such a huge difference between watching, like, Terminator 2 or, I don't know. There's a very big difference between watching, let me think. Trying to think of a good comedy. Give me a minute. I'm trying to think of the perfect example. I have to have the perfect example. There's a big difference between What We Do in the Shadows and Jackass. Right? Yes, What We Do in the Shadows is a stupid movie about vampires, right? It's a stupid movie about vampires and all the silly shit they get up to, right? It's a comedy. It's meant to be an escape, something that you can laugh at. So is Jackass. But Jackass is literally fart jokes and people getting kicked in the balls. People getting hurt and shit for 2 hours. Not all comedy is brain rot. So you need that sweet spot where it's not pure brain rot. I really hate Mando. It is the awfulest shit. I have no idea what that's from. Double D. Oh, it doesn't have that movie. Sad story. But yeah. So there's a big difference between like a feel-good movie and brain rot. Yeah, I'm about to get off here. I've actually streamed longer than I said I would. Yeah, I don't mind watching highbrow movies. I just feel like I don't want to experience existential dread for 2 hours. I don't want to have to sit quietly in a Discord call for 2 hours, carefully scrutinizing the next Paul Thomas Anderson movie or whatever, I want something that we can make fun of and that if you talk over it, you don't mind, but that also isn't just memes blasting you in the face every second. There's also The Spy Who Knew Too Little with Adkins in it. No, yeah, I understand. Yeah. Yeah, I was just saying that the reason why we haven't done it in a while is because it's not particularly popular. Not enough people come and join me for stupid movie night. If more people did, I would do it more. And those of you that were there for the first one, it was an absolute fucking blast. It was a lot of fun. But it's the only one we did that was really successful. Also, some movies are genuinely so bad, it's hard to even have fun with them. Turkish Star Wars was so insane. It was so insanely bad that it was even hard to make fun of. The original Metropolis? Wow, you really are at that you're at that age where you're like, man, I can only watch highbrow movies. Lady Gaga is a good musician. I don't like her music, but she's a good musician. She's also a cool person, but I don't like her music. Spooderman! See, Spooderman would be something I would love to watch with chat. Just stupid enough. Oh, did they make a new one? What one are you talking about? There's a new one? Is it like a Superman movie or something? See, we could watch good classics maybe. But they would have to be like decent classic films. Like we could watch like The Thing, Alien. They don't have to necessarily be sci-fi horror, but those are good ones because there are a lot of theories in them, right? Like The Thing is a great one to watch as a group because there are so many theories about who is the Thing and who isn't the Thing. And most people have already seen The Thing. So you can talk over it without hurting, anybody. And you could be like, who do you think is the Thing now? Who at the end is the Thing kind of shit, right? Like you could do that. Movies that are filled with mysteries where you could theorize about those mysteries. Movies with ambiguous endings would be good. The Thing is one of the best movies to talk about, in my opinion. It is one of the best movies to talk about because there are 1, 2, 3, 4 theories. There are 4 theories about The Thing. There are 4 fundamental theories about The Thing. One, Childs is the thing, right? The black guy. Because only 2 people are at the end of the film. So Kurt Russell's character, can't remember his name, McCready, I think. McCready is drinking in the ice. The place is burning down. He offers the bottle to Childs. Earlier, he made Molotov cocktails using those bottles, right? It's possible he didn't actually drink from the bottle, that it's gasoline, kerosene, or diesel in it. In which case, when he hands it to Childs, he's determining whether or not Childs is the thing. Because when Childs takes a drink and it's gasoline but doesn't react, right? Then that gives away that Childs is the thing. 2, McCready is the thing. He drinks J&B whiskey throughout the entire movie. He is warned that the thing is actually all the way down to a cellular level and can literally be passed through saliva. In fact, that's how the original guy becomes the thing. His hand is licked by the dog, and then he opens a bottle of liquid and he drinks from it. And the cross-contamination of those 2 things made him the thing. Which means that at some point in the film, McCready drank from the bottle, became the thing, and then passed the bottle around to make other people the thing. So in the end, McCready is actually the thing. The third option, they're both the thing, right? In which case, the passing of the bottle is a toast to their success at having successfully converted everybody to the thing. Or neither are the thing, which is actually my favorite ending, in which case it really is just a perfectly fine bottle of J&B, right? He hands it to Childs and Childs drinks from it, and they're both just suspicious of each other, right? That's my favorite ending because the whole movie is about suspicions. The whole idea is, who is it? Who is the monster, right? And in my opinion, the best ending is if neither one is the monster, but they're ready to kill each other because they think that the other is a monster. So the thing is so good for theorizing. There are probably other theories too. I think the most likely theory, unfortunately, is that McCready is the thing. I think McCready probably is the thing. But my favorite possible ending is that neither is, but that they both think the other is. That is just a great ending. If they had like shown that neither one was the thing, right? And then when it fades away from Childs and McCready, you hear like a gunshot or something, and it's left ambiguous as to who killed who. That would have been a really great ending because you're like, wait, neither one's the thing, but they both think the other is, and someone just killed someone else. Ooh. But yeah, like, oh, it's an anime. Yeah, I never heard of this. Shit, I just closed that on accident. But I also don't think that chat is interested in doing media theory stuff. You'd much rather have you'd either like to watch Brain Rot, or you want to have some really deep philosophical conversation that's already been had a million times over 1,000 years that is totally unfalsifiable, comes to no significant conclusion, and that doesn't teach you anything. It's like, fuck, okay. So, shit, we can't just be middle of the road. It's not doable. So this is actually based on the 27. This is very closely related to the 1927 film. Right? This sounds convoluted though. Yeah, even reading this, I don't know what the fuck it's talking about. Discovering the burning lab, Shinsaki locates the dying Lafton, who directs Shinsaku to a notebook containing his research. Meanwhile, Kenichi stumbles upon the newly activated Tima. The two fall into the sewers and are separated from Shinsaku. I think you would just have to watch this one. I don't think you can read a synopsis of it because it's kind of vague. I don't know who any of these people are. It could be good. Well, I don't actually see myself watching it, but I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. Oh yeah, the chip. Yeah, very nice. Titanic 2 it is then. What's this? Very 90s-y music.
The near future. The place, the most advanced civilization on the planet.
Japan.
The occasion, a celebration of progress and technology.
I think you've shown this to me before. It's very visually appealing. It looks good. Like, it's very pretty.
For Metropolis, the most spectacular anime in motion picture history. Directed by Rintaro, the celebrated director of Galaxy Express 999.
Never watched Galaxy Express 999. Is it China?
Written by Katsuhiro Otomo.
Katsuhiro Otomo sounds familiar.
Creator of the breakthrough feature Akira.
Yeah, I knew I fucking recognized it. Okay, if it's written by the Akira author, this is probably a 10 out of 10. That's literally all I needed to hear. Oh, the author for Akira wrote this? Holy shit.
And based on the classic manga by the godfather of Japanese animation, Osamu Tezuka.
Damn, dude, I don't even need to watch the rest of this. I already know it's going to be an absolutely fucking fire. Unless the studio really fucked it up. But if it's written by the creator of Akira, it's going to be a solid film. It's going to be great. That's all I needed to hear. Like, you know it's going to be a 7 or better. It's like a Christopher Nolan film, right? Like, if Christopher Nolan comes out with a movie, as aggravating as it might be, it's going to be at least a 7. He doesn't make shitty movies. He occasionally will make a mid movie, but mid movies are like his total flops, right? I haven't seen Tenet, but I have not read Akira. I've only seen the movie. But I enjoyed Dunkirk. I enjoyed Interstellar. I enjoyed Memento. I think Memento was him, right? I enjoyed the Batman trilogy. They're all solid films. It's like Tarantino. Tarantino had one flop. Death Proof. Which is still like a good solid mid-tier like action movie. I think the problem with Death Proof was that it was like a grindhouse double feature. And Planet Terror from Robert whatever his name is, was better. Robert Rodriguez. Yeah, Rodriguez's Planet Terror was a much better movie than Death Proof was. So it was kind of a shame because Tarantino's weakest film, which was still a pretty solid film, happened to be like literally packaged with a movie that was better. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, you make, I don't know, Terminator 2, right? Really solid Terminator film. But then you put it side by side with like Alien or something, which is objectively a better movie. So that it kind of fucks it up. It's not that Terminator is bad. It's that Alien is just one of the best science fiction films of all time. Maybe that's exaggerating a bit because Terminator and Terminator 2 are both really good films and Alien is fucking insanely good. Planet Terror isn't that good. I would say Planet Terror is like a high 7, low 8, right? Where Death Proof is like a high 6, low 7. They're like a point away from each other. No, I've never heard of Jinro the Wolf Brigade. I love that. I think it was in between Death Proof and Planet Terror were a bunch of advertisements for other movies that didn't exist. And I'm pretty sure one was it Rob Zombie's She-Wolves of the SS? That needs to be made a movie, dude. Oh, no, I've seen clips of this. It looks fucking amazing, though. Some of the best artwork in an anime, period. some of the absolute best animation and artwork in an anime period, but I have never watched it. And to be fair, it looks way better than Wolfenstein does. Wolfenstein really failed to capture how fucking epic, this looked. Yeah, I might have to watch that. See, if we had an anime day, I could watch that. You guys could actually recommend shit that isn't terrible. 7.3. It's not bad. Is it She-Wolf of the SS? Oh my god, there was actually a film in 1975? There was She-Wolf of SS. Hot MILF movie. Was it Rob Zombie that did this? Yeah, this trailer. What was this a part of? It was a faux Grindhouse trailer that was included in the 2007 Grindhouse double bill with Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez. I remembered correctly. I can't believe I remembered that.
This film is a brilliant achievement in motion picture history. Finally, the truth about Hitler's diabolical plans to create a race of superwomen can be told. Werewolf women of the SS.
I know there's like some implied nudity, I think, but I don't know if there's actual nudity in this.
Death Camp 13, home of the Nazis' diabolical...
Let me scan through and make sure we're safe. I don't want to get in trouble because, like, suddenly boobies or anything. You know what I mean? I don't think there is. I think there's only implied nudity at one point, and it's like a creature suit. It's not actual nudity. I think we already saw that too, so I might get in trouble. Oh, no. Damn. Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, there is just straight up nudity later. Fuck. Damn it. Yeah, I can't share that because there's straight up nudity later. So what we saw was like a costume. I don't know if that counts or if that'd get me in trouble or not. But later on, there's just straight up toplessness, so I can't. But it would be just such a hilarious movie to make. It bums me out that Rob Zombie never made it. And if Tarantino or Robert Rodriguez made a modern She-Wolf of the SS that's like a sexploitation film, I don't know if that's what that'd be called, but you guys might remember there was those old school exploitation films where they just really catered to one particular demographic and went way over the top with it, and they ended up being unintentionally hilarious because of it, like blaxploitation films back in the day. A lot of those are classics now. They're absolutely hilarious to watch. They're amazing. And unfortunately, they don't do that anymore. And it seems like right up Tarantino's alley because he 100%. That's like what Django is, and then like the old school like kung fu film, right? That's what Kill Bill is. Like he could make one of those, and I bet it would be good. I think though, I'm about to get off here. I think though that if Tarantino, his last film, I know what his last film needs to be. Because I think he's got one more, maybe two more films in him. He said he was going to do 10 and then he was going to be out. I think that what Quentin Tarantino needs to make... Wait, did you share something? What is this? Blue Noah opening thing. I think we've seen this before. What Quentin Tarantino needs to do is make Kill Bill Volume 3. He talked about it, which is interesting because I didn't know that he talked about it.
Peace and harmony throughout the universe.
It is an eat shit.
Ruthless aliens from a dying solar system attack planet Earth to make it their own. For mankind, there is one hope: a top secret weapon, a ship that can.
He did a YouTube short where he talks about it. He will never do 3, which is sad. See, he talks about it because the daughter of one of the characters she kills in the movie, I think we've seen it before. Not the anime, but I think we've seen that exact trailer before. I believe you shared it with me once before. But the idea was that, yeah, this.
You know, I own my characters, so I can kind of do whatever I want with them, all right? And also that, it's
You
like...
created them, you own them.
I own them, yeah. And Uma is something I'm going to know for, like, the rest of my life, so I can make long-range plans, all right? And one of the things that's really cool is I think 15 years from now, I want to go back to this character, all right? And what I want to do is tell the story of Vivica Fox's daughter, Nikki, all right? She spent the last 15 years getting ready to go and kill the bride, all right? And then I'm going to follow her journey as she tries to go and track Uma down and kill her. And it's very interesting because it's like, you know, Nikki, the little girl, she deserves her revenge just as much as Uma deserved hers. And that will be the only way that the whole revenge cycle that started in this movie can ever end.
And then it becomes a trilogy.
Yes, exactly.
It would be amazing if he did that. It would be amazing, but I guess he's not going to do it.
Is it a cartoon?
Yeah, well, it's a cartoon. But the thing is, then 3 years later or something, they did a fourth, and I have no desire to see it. You literally ended the story as perfect as you could. So no, I don't care if it's good. I am done.
Don't put the condom on after you come. Well,
Yeah, but I have.
but so this is why there's no Kill Bill 3.
Yeah.
Is
Yes.
it, right?
Yeah.
Because you feel
No,
like...
I did. I killed Bill.
Right.
Feel like, I feel like he's contradicting himself there. I would probably call it, I don't know, Kill the Bride or something. Dun dun dun. Listen, boys, it's been a lot of fun. I'm gonna goof off, mess with FL Studio for a while. Don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. If I get enough people, we might watch a stupid movie. If not, we're gonna play Ina, I think. No Generation Zero this week. But we'll see about Ina and how it plays out. Need to start. You always do this to me, Stid, every time. I literally get my headphones off. I'm given my final spiel, and you're like, wait, but no, there's more. Every time. Every time. Every time. I can never escape. Okay, so we're going to watch this, and I'm going to give my ending spiel again, and just watch, chat.
Takeo Morita likes to listen to music, but on his own terms. The music fan spends thousands of dollars on high-end stereo equipment, all in a quest for audio perfection. But Morita, nicknamed Rock Grandpa by the clerks at his favorite vinyl record shop in Tokyo, has taken his hobby even further.
Yeah.
The 82-year-old retired lawyer has installed a 40-foot utility pole in his front yard that he connected to the power grid, so he can have a personal source of pure electricity. Morita says that having your own power source eliminates electrical interference that comes from sharing a public utility pole.
血液みたいなもんだから、そこが悪いともう体すべてが良くなくなっちゃって、どんな高級な機器を使っても血液部分でダメだとどうしようもないんじゃないかな。
What the fuck is he on about? I mean, he's talking about electromagnetic interference, but it's a fucking record player, my guy. It's analog.
Japanese audiophiles are known for going to extreme lengths. Itsushi Hamasaki lives in a 250 square foot apartment, so he can afford to spend more money on his stereo system. His speakers alone cost $100,000.
But he's in a 250 square foot apartment. Aren't his neighbors mad that he has a speaker system the size of God in his apartment?
Hamasaki's apartment is so small that he has to move his couch to open his refrigerator. Another sacrifice, he says he hasn't purchased new clothes in about 15 years. A small price to pay for what could be the most essential part of his life.
He looks good though for his clothes being 15 years old.
一番になるのかな。一番になるか彼女が一番になるか、まあどっこいどっこいですね。
Dude, look at the size of those speakers. Those are 15. Yeah, those are 15s, I think. That's pretty cool. All right. Next link. There it is. I told you. But as soon as I change scene. I want to get off here, chat. You're wearing me out. I'm tired. We need a legend, because I want to know what the red means. I get that we're witnessing the early stages of chain reaction, but event 1, reactor normal. Event, okay, so event 2. Oh, there is! Why did they get rid of it? So we got control rods, water, xenon, a moderator, blue is uranium, gray is non-uranium, black is a thermal neutron, and white is a fast neutron, which the fast neutrons will hit the uranium, breaking up for more neutrons. Yeah, I think red is the temperature of the particular area, which is why there's a control rod here now. They're lowering the control rods with the hope of lowering the temperature, I think. But it's not working, and not all the control rods are going down. It's every other. "20 active neurons in the lower right." Yeah, xenon is the result of splitting uranium atoms. From when the reactor ran at 50% before, but now only 30% power burns it away. So the xenon burns away. Okay. Power drop. Why did the power drop to 1%? I don't actually know why. Because, oh no, the xenon, yeah, the xenon is built up because of all the fast neutrons. Right, well, isn't that because those fast neutrons are getting instantly absorbed? So you have like a really fast neutron production, but they're immediately getting eaten up by other atoms? The black ones are the thermal neutrons. They're what's producing heat, and if you pay attention, where they are, you can tell that the water is warmed. Wherever they are, there's a slight pinkish hue almost everywhere that they are. This is 1%. Okay, this is the 1% unexpected power drop I am trying to show that happened the day of the accident, okay? They didn't change anything about the control rods, of course. The reactor was simply stalling because of the extra water causing fewer voids. And the xenon poisoning continually builds up. So we're getting a lot of xenon buildup, I guess, because of all the uranium atoms being... Right, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you actually have higher neutron production, but those neutrons don't exist forever. They're immediately swallowed up by other uranium atoms, which are then split into xenon, right? Which is why we're seeing an increase in the number of xenon atoms, because there's more reactions occurring. But some of the xenon is getting burned up because of the increased temperatures. Safety protocols were ignored, and the automatic control of control rods was turned off in an attempt to power up the reactor. They need to work on these closed captions. Yeah. They were only able to get the reactor running at 7... Only able to get the reactor running at 7% by pretty much removing all the control rods. Shit. So the state is 7% power. All control rods are raised. Water level is still cooling the core, and xenon keeps building up from the delayed reaction. I'm sorry to keep pausing, but I'm trying to read it. Yeah, look at the fast neutron production. It's super high now. It's going nuts. And the thermal neutrons are heating up everywhere they pass through, immediately evaporating the water whenever they cross it. Event 5, test starts. Still at 7% power. The computer warned them to shut down immediately, so they turned off the computer instead. They could not get the power higher than 7%, so they started the test. Pretty much all the control rods are still raised. The test included switching off half of the recirculation pumps temporarily so water cools off much slower now. Right, which means that there's just an absolute shit ton of steam. The effect is that more water boils away, causing more xenon to burn off. This causes even more water to boil, and it becomes a feedback loop. Okay. All the water flash boils away, and all the free neutrons burn away all the xenon. Now there is nothing to stop the reactor. Fuck. Actually, the rods have... I'll add that. Event 6, Scram. Only a minute after the test started. Emergency button Scram was pushed. Control rods got melted, destroyed, stuck, and endlessly accelerated the reactor. Damn, dude. Okay. All right, I'm done. If I feel good tomorrow, I might just take the day off. So if I don't show up, you guys know what's up. Because I literally spent all my energy on chat today, even though I said I was going to do a short stream and not spend all my energy on chat today. Damn. Bitrate was kind of bad, but I'll let you guys know. So until next time, boys and girls, I bid you all adieu. Have a good night. Bye-bye.